Hi, hello. I had my family ask me why I'm recording again. It's Passive Pixels. Dorian, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I bet they asked. Is that a question they normally ask, or is it just even more prevalent now that you know life events?
So it's an ever present question. Like, why are you still doing this? I'm joking. No, my wife for some reason is like really like she's been very supportive. Supportive feels like a weird word because, like, honestly, she's just like, okay, yeah, I don't have you for like an hour or two. I'm gonna be sad, but that's okay. Supportive might be too strong a word, but it's more like, oh, you're recording again? Didn't you just record? And I'm like, well, that was a special episode. That was God of War Ragnarok, you know. So that question usually comes up more for special episodes that get booked so closely to main episodes.
Yeah, and let me just say, I am sad I didn't get to make the Ragnarok special episode. Unfortunately, I had prior commitments. I didn't get to suck it off, so it's very sad about that. But I'm sure you
It's
had.
okay. There will be a lot of Ragnarok sucking later.
There's always time for Ragnarok sucking. I'm sure. I'm sure everyone had a delightful time with Mape and Radix. So I'm sure it was a great show.
You know, actually, I don't know what to name this episode, but considering that I have three God of War games on my list, we just might call it God of War Ragnar Cocksucking.
Yeah, that sounds like a great episode.
Actually, no,
I don't know if
I,
I don't know if Apple will allow it
yeah,
though. Is the issue?
yeah, that's the thing. I don't think I'll be able to write cock. So, like, I want everyone to know that the title in my heart of hearts is God of War Ragnar Cocksucking, right? That's going to be the title, but I'm probably going to name it God of War Ragnarok Sucking.
I like it.
All right. Although then actually that kind of makes it sound like I'm insulting the game. So I'm just gonna make sure that Ragnarok sucking is one word. Like if I separate it, then like it doesn't work.
Yeah, yeah. It's got to be all one word for sure.
Mhm. All right. So give me your list because that gives me more than enough time to go change her diaper and feed her and all that.
It's not as long, but it's no longer than yours for sure.
Okay, fine. Just the diaper.
A Plague Tale Requiem, Somerville, Pentament, Elden Ring, Unpregnant, Bullworth, Bull Durham, A Fistful of Dollars, The Long Day Closes,
Oh, son of a
Glass
bitch.
Onion, A Knives Out Mystery, Pinnochio, The Fablemans, Bones and All, To the Bone, Rocketman, Tangerine, Palm Springs, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Doctor Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb, Little
Yes.
Miss Sunshine.
Yeah, you know what? That's actually a really good list. I'm scared that this isn't going to be the short episode like we want it to be.
I feel like shit. I'll do my best to just fucking rag it on. I don't know what I'm trying to
It's okay. Words are very
say. Words are
difficult.
tough
It's
today.
only every 15 days that we do this, you know.
Yeah, no shitting.
Um that's the thing. There's a lot of things in there and I'm scared that like there's going to be a landmine where I'm just going to be like, "Yeah, that was great." And you're going to be like, "I actually fucking hate this movie." And I'm like,
Oh
"Well,
yeah, we got
great."
at least one of those I know, so it'll be interesting to see.
Seriously, I kind of hate that you. Well, no, never mind, never mind. There's no reason for me to talk about topics because that's the whole point of talking about topics.
Yeah.
Okay, my five: God of War Ragnarok, completed and platinumed. Uh, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 2022. I almost forgot what year it came out. A couple of weeks ago. God of War 2018. The Sopranos season 3 and God of War 2005. That's my list. That's it. It's three things. It's three things because I'm probably bundling all the God of War games together.
Stellar. All right. Are we doing? I guess we'll just start the Addy hour then. Shall we go?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to do God of War at the top, since I have it here, we can do that. Like, I know that like we said, the name's going to be Ragnar
Yeah.
Cocksucking. So, like,
All
if
right.
we want to just get started,
Yeah. Well, we can start with God of War, sure, and then I'll just after God of War, I'll just divulge into a bunch of shit.
okay, that's fine. All right, so I will go ahead and kick it off. So God of War Ragnarok, of course, had a spoiler cast, all that, blah 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 blah. I apologize for not having a warning, but no, sorry, not having a warning of when we were going to go into spoilers. But the problem is that when you have Maple and Raddick, you kind of just play by ear, like whatever happens. So like, sorry. You clicked on a spoiler cast and you got spoiled. Oh my god. Anyways. God of War Ragnarok. By the time that I already did the recording, I had already completed it. I already platinumed it, and I was in the middle of my replay of God of War 2018 on the Give Me God of War difficulty on New Game Plus. Anyways, God of War Ragnarok, supreme. Like that's the thing. I was actually kind of astounded when going back to the to edit the episode. I was like, man, we were really negative on a game that we actually all put as a top 5 game from like the PS4 and PS5 gen. Like, I'm actually kind of happy that Radic asked that at the very end of the episode, because if not, it would have just been 2 hours of, man, yeah, Ragnarok hated this, hated this, hated this, but that gameplay though. And then Radic thankfully asked at the end, like, what is the top five PS4, PS5 exclusives? And all three of us still put it in top five. So it's like, okay, perfect. All right. So, like, we bitched a lot, but that's because we wanted it to be better. Like that's the famous line across both games, be better. So, yeah, God of War Ragnarok, fucking great game. Great game. I'm so happy to have actually played it. The gameplay is so good. I beat all the bosses. I beat the secret boss that I don't want to mention because its existence is something I didn't expect. The Valkyrie replacement bosses are cool. Nothing has been harder in this game than Queen Valkyrie in God of War 2018, and I even went back to confirm it. Yeah, I enjoyed this game. I enjoyed it, but I feel like so much of it is missed opportunities that it just makes me sad that they confirmed that, oh, we wanted this to be a duology of the Norse games. And it's like, man, you guys could have cut shit from this game and expanded on it to make a third one. Because as this game is now, it makes me feel like there is a lot of missed potential that you could have expanded on for a third one. If we end up going into spoilers, cool, I'll explain it there. But for now, great game, top five of a previous gen, blah 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 blah. And yet somehow I'm still disappointed. I don't know, but like, great game. I'm happy about it, but also somehow I need to always caveat it at the same time.
Well, for me, so Ragnarok is a top 15 game of all time for me. It's settled in there nicely. So I'm obviously quite a big fan of it. And I don't really have a lot of
One,
major complaints. I guess
hold on,
my
hold on. I want to check this because you said 15. I have it at 14. I'm not even joking. I have it at
I think
14. Continue.
I actually think I have. Wait, like that's where you put it on your personal list? Sorry.
Yes.
Well, funny
So
enough, I think
I
it's 14 for me too. But let me double check.
Oh, if we okay, so now this is the extra thing that I need to have as a modifier. I count God of War Ragnarok not as a sequel, but as the second part of 2018. And whenever I think of it as the second part of 2018, my opinion of the game goes up because everything that I'm like, ooh, that was missing in Ragnarok in the narrative is fixed if I add 2018 to it. So I literally have God of War 2018 slash Ragnarok as my number 14 favorite game of all time.
Okay, yes, that is a bit different for me. I have so God of War 2018 for me is the eighth of all time, and then I have
Damn.
Ragnarok at 14th. And I think that's what I was going to say. My biggest complaint about Ragnarok is just that the story in the narrative is tighter and better in 2018. But I already think the narrative in 2018 is one of my favorites in video gaming, period. So yeah, it's a complaint, but it's pretty minor at the end of the day. I still love most of what they did with Ragnarok. And I've seen a lot of, like, I'm not even going to get into it now. I mean, if you want to get into spoilers eventually, I guess you can get into it. But
Oh, we
um,
are. That's the thing. Like, you missed the spoiler cast. I want to go deep into this game.
for sure. I've just seen, to me, a lot of nitpicky comments about the story of this game. And I think that's just what they are. I think they're very nitpicky. I think they wouldn't exist in many other games. You look at many other games and their narratives, and I don't hear shit about them. And I'll talk about that in fucking Plague Tale Requiem, because the more I'm away from that game, the more I dislike it. And I don't see people nitpicking the story in that game, and I think it's ridiculous. But yeah,
Mm,
I think Ragnarok
different bar, but continue.
I think Ragnarok was just incredibly well made. Gameplay wise, I think it's somehow even more, it's better than 2018. And
It is.
I can't put my finger on what it is. You probably could better because you've actually gone back to 2018. But like the variety of boss fights in this game, man, are just so cool. There's so many great boss fights. Whereas if I was to like make like a top 3 boss fight list, it'd be agonizing to me because there's so many good ones in this game. And yeah, the gameplay is funner to me. I know you weren't a big fan of and that's a spoiler, so I won't mention it, but I like that.
God, no, I have to censor that. No, that is a spoiler. By even mentioning that, that's a spoiler.
Oh, that's not a spoiler.
Shit! That
That's
is.
spoiler.
That, yes,
You get
that is.
how
I'm spoiling that.
Well,
I'm censoring it. Like, it doesn't matter. I'm censoring. I'm the editor.
That is not a spoiler. Anyways,
That
profusely disagree.
We'll discuss in spoilers.
Profusely disagree. But this is the same.
I'll argue in spoilers. Damn it.
I also don't think what Chris was saying was a big spoiler either. I think people are way too butthurt about what. People are way too butthurt about what is a spoiler these days. But that's a whole other discussion.
Oh, come on. Oh, you saying that of all people.
I know that's the thing. I am spoiler sensitive. What I just said is not a fucking spoiler. And if it is a spoiler, if you think that is a spoiler, you DM me afterwards and I'll block you and tell you to fuck off. But anyways.
Okay, look. Let's wrap this shit up because I can't contain myself.
That's fair.
Ragnarok, good game. You love this?
Ragnarok, very positive on it. I love the game. It was fantastic. It's just what I wanted from a Jim Sony classic.
God damn it. Okay, I'm sorry I had to wrap you up. It's like, this is the fire. This is the fire. We need to go there. 3, 2, 1. God of War 2018 was handled, and like people thought that was actually going to be a reboot, and then the big surprise about the blade still being in is that it was a soft reboot and not a hard reboot, meaning that being able to have an entire weapon be secret for most of it is a spoiler. And if you want to argue that Atreus being playable is not a spoiler because it happened so early, Joel dies in the first 2 hours, and that is a spoiler.
Okay.
Sure, the leaks all ruined it, so it's not a spoiler, but it is a spoiler.
Okay, the blades is a spoiler. I agree with that. The blades, talking about the blades, is a spoiler for 2018. The spear is not a fucking spoiler. Yeah,
it's a spoiler because everyone was thinking you play as the hammer.
Who would have thought that you get a new weapon in God of War Ragnarok? No way. They're not going to make you use the exact same 2 weapons the entire fucking game.
The combat in 2018, if you told people that you were using the axe the entire time, people were like, oh, okay, and then they throw the axe for the first time.
But 2018 is precedent now. They obviously always introduce a new weapon later in the game.
It's not a pattern. It's precedent. 2 games. It's 2 games.
Well, now we've got precedent. It's going to happen in the 3rd one.
Yes.
Spoiler.
Yes.
Spoiler for God of War 3.
We do.
You're going to get a weapon.
There we go.
Fucking 3/4 into the game.
Correct. Now it is. Now it's precedent. Okay. Now in Ragnarok, Ragnarok 2. Okay, we're gonna get the dildo bat from Saints Row the Third. Okay, that's what it's gonna be.
Now, as for the Atreus stuff, okay, I have a lot of arguments against this, but here's the biggest one, and I call it the brain cell argument. If you honestly did not have enough of a brain cell to realize that you were probably going to play as Atreus in some point in this game, then I don't know what to tell you. You're probably playing too many fucking push up to move games, and you should use some of your brain cells somewhere else. Of course you were going to play as Atreus in this fucking game. Does it suck that you got ruined out of something that happens 3 hours into the game? Sure. That's a bummer.
Joel, do you agree that Joel's a spoiler?
Yes, of course. That's different though.
There we go.
That's completely different. That's a
Thank you. Oh my god.
That's completely different. We're talking about a gameplay mechanic to a
happens in the this game focuses on Atreus so much, and to be able to play as him is a spoiler. Okay? If Abby was set up in the first 2 hours, would you say that's a spoiler or not? If she showed up as a playable, she does actually. She literally does in the first 2 hours. She does. How would I fucking forget that? She is playable the first 2 hours.
Yeah, but people
is that a spoiler?
People just talk about Abby like it's nothing now. And that's the thing. Sometimes
is that a spoiler?
Eventually,
that's because everyone says that's not a spoiler, but it is.
Eventually, you have to be able to talk about minor gameplay mechanics without it becoming a spoiler. Atreus, I shouldn't say minor, but gameplay mechanics. Atreus is a gameplay mechanic, so there's going to be a point where, like 2 months down the line, 3 months down the line, we're just going to say, okay, this really isn't a spoiler anymore because this is a major part of the game and we need to talk about it. Just like Abby's a major part of The Last of Us 2 and we need to talk about it. Yes, it's one of those things that if you don't know going into it beforehand, that definitely does have a bit more of a punchy impact to it, and that's cool. But like, for Christ's sake, man, like if you find out that you play as Atreus, and like, oh, the game's ruined for me now. How will I ever be able to enjoy this?
Not ruined, but it does color it. It does mean you have to go in with some perception, like, oh, I'm gonna play as Atreus. Okay, like that's it.
Yeah, with The Last of Us 2, if you know that Joel's dying, that's a pretty big. Oh fuck, now we're spoiling The Last of Us 2.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Here's the thing. Come on. No, I'm not. Come on. No, you know already. No, here's the thing. That Abby is so Darth Vader levels of spoiler at this point that I don't feel bad about spoiling it, even though it is a spoiler, because there is a certain moment where, like, with Ragnarok existing, the chains being in God of War 2018 is no longer a spoiler. It is a spoiler, but the moment that Ragnarok started advertising with the blades in it, then that no longer becomes a spoiler,
Oh, I
okay?
agree.
Like,
And I do, and I, like I said, I agree. Back in 2018, when there was no Ragnarok, if you were to talk about the chains, that's a spoiler. It's a late game moment. That's an emotional moment that ties directly into the story. Like you said, it talks about the soft reboot. The spear does none of that, though. The spear is just a new fucking weapon. They introduced fucking 3/4 into the game because, of course, they were going to. They're not going to just have you have two weapons the entire
not
fucking
of
game.
course. Yes, they
But they
could.
didn't.
And you want to know why? Because people would have been okay with playing with the axe the entire
Probably,
time.
but
And then,
but it's good they did because the spear was good. You're wrong about the spear. The spear is fun.
okay, no, the spear, no. You want to know why the spear isn't good? Because of auto run, okay? Auto run meant that I was launching myself at every fucking enemy with the run up attacks. And the spear's run attack, the problem is that, like, you get one hit in, but then afterwards, Kratos is literally locked in where he will push an enemy. Like, he'll start hitting them, but it pushes the enemy further. I upgraded the spear, like, to have 8 attacks, so by, like, the 5th attack, the enemy is out of my range, okay? I got the fucking platinum and I did all of the enemies, and, like, I beat all of these fucking bosses on way harder difficulties than I should have, and the spear would come up short because every single time, like, if you were fighting Super Gorilla and you were just getting a couple of swipes in and that was it, you're good to go. Yeah, if you want to do that. The problem is that my playstyle meant that when I am attacking, I am making sure I am doing insane amounts of stun damage to make sure that you're locked into place. The spear would stun them, but it would push them at the same time. The blades have such long range that no matter how far I push them, I'm still hitting them. And Kratos is moving forward when he's using the blades. The spear, he's pushing them away and he's not moving forward. So the spear does not work for my playstyle.
Okay.
I do not like that
Okay,
thing. Change to the
so
best.
can we say this, then the spear is not a
Hmm.
bad weapon, it's just bad for your play style. Can we agree with that?
Fine,
Okay.
fine, fine.
Okay.
I'd rather insult people and not be reasonable.
Okay, then we're on the same page there. I actually quite enjoyed the spear. The worst weapon for me, and I shouldn't say worse, I still enjoyed it, but I the blades are just like the blades were really fun for crowd control and like if there was a lot of enemies, but in every other encounter I would just use the axe for the most part, and then occasionally I would switch up to the spear when I felt I wanted to change a pace or to try something new. But I did really like the spear. Like I loved like just kind of like flinging a few of them from far, kind of grenading them, and then kind of jumping on in and getting some shots in. I had fun with it.
Yeah, that's the thing. So straight up, I fully okay. So, like, God of War 2018, no, never mind. I have to keep 2018 separate. Or you know what? Fuck it. I will speak about 2018, and I'll just write in the timestamp. Sorry, it's spoilers for Ragnarok that are going to be wrapped in it. Anyways, God of War 2018. I replayed it. I played it on Give Me God of War. I was literally trying to just replay it just to get the story because I wanted to confirm, like, okay, was 2018 a fluke? Is the story, like, not as good as I remember it? I replayed it on the hardest difficulty because I like to make things harder for myself. 2018, still absolutely hands down one of the best stories that I've played in a game. It doesn't hit as hard. I'm not too sure why. Maybe it's just that I'm broken and don't like games as much anymore. I don't know. That's a completely deeper conversation that, like, maybe comes up later. But anyways, 2018, still a great fucking story. The gameplay is absolutely worse in 2018 than it is in Ragnarok, but it honestly feels like Ragnarok, what they did is that they tightened. That's the thing. If you ask me what the feel of it is, I'm not gonna. I have not analyzed this. I have not stopped and, like, looked at footage to confirm any of this. It feels like Ragnarok tightened up animations as they lead into one another. So whether if it's like one attack or going into a rune attack or anything, it feels smoother going from one attack to another, where it feels like it's faster because of it. Where 2018, it feels like there's more stop and go between animations. It's the only way I know how to explain it. And also, Ragnarok having auto run is, like, it's godsend. I love being able to just dash everywhere and automatically get the run up attack. But yeah, God of War 2018, still a great game. I that fucking difficulty killed me because you need to basically be level cap in your previous save. I was not level cap. So I went into this. All of the enemies start at level 7. I was level 7. And by the time I was at the end of the game, I was getting my ass fucking handed to me because there were enemies that were level 9. Literally fucking just random draugrs were two-shotting me. And there were moments where I had boss fights where if I got hit once, my entire health was gone. Like, and sometimes I'd get one-shotted. Balder actually in the final fight just would one-shot me. Like it was terrible, but I did finish it because I am stubborn, and this combat is good enough that even getting one-shotted, it is still totally possible for you to play this at such a high enough level that you can be at a complete disadvantage, and as long as you're doing enough damage, you can get away with it. So yeah, God of War 2018, still great. I toss it to you because, like, yes, I brought this up, so now you had to bring this up, and then we'll go back to Ragnarok.
No, yeah, no, 2018 is great. I love it. It's incredible. It's my eighth favorite game of all time. I've only played it once though, so I don't really have as much to say on it right now. But yeah, the story and narrative is just still what sets it apart in my mind as being, one of my favorites that I played in any game. Really, probably besides maybe The Last of Us as an individual story. I'm obviously not going to count like something overarching like Metal Gear, but just as like an
Yeah, that's
individual,
that.
yeah, that's its
Yeah.
own thing. But just as its own individual story, I would say probably The Last of Us one or maybe Automata. But yeah, like that's really where I would go with it. And yeah, so it's incredible. And it's a special experience. And I think Ragnarok is nearly there for me. It just doesn't hit quite as hard, which is why I have it a little bit lower on the on my rankings. I think if I was more of a gameplay over story guy, I might definitely have Ragnarok higher.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I need to put both of these together because if not, like, the good thing is that like these two games are so close enough that I don't feel like I have to cope hard to just be like Ragnarok is the second half of 2018. Like, no, like I swear that if you went back to 2018 and you added an auto run, I would feel less difference between the two of them. But with auto run on in Ragnarok, basically speeding up a lot of it, I would just be like, oh, 2018, like that skill tree is just worse. That's it. Which, by the way, actually really funny. I'm looking at the 2018 skill tree and I'm like, this fucking sucks. Like most of these things that are unlocked, I'm never going to use this. But then Ragnarok skill tree is so fucking good with actual things that I want to use. Like, that's why I love the blade so much, because once I started unlocking the skill tree, and not only unlocking the skill tree, golding the skills on there and being able to add an insane amount of stun, like, dude, I was an absolute fucking stun machine in this game. I loved using the blades to throw them, hold light attack, and Kratos would fucking go Mach 10 at them, holding a shield, and give them like 70% stun. It was incredible. Like, I was so good at this game, and it made me so happy. So, like, it honestly makes me kind of sad though, because like I went back to 2018 and I'm like, dude, the blades kind of suck. Like they are good for crowd control and giving just minor enough stun to a whole bunch of minor enemies to make sure that they don't all mob you at the same time. But to actually use them like on one enemy, use your runes and dip. There's no reason for you to use the blades in 2018. But man, Ragnarok, those blades, oh boy, I enjoyed them so much. And like that's the one thing. This I'm gonna say something ridiculous. I'm gonna say something ridiculous. If you remade God of War 2018 and put Ragnarok as the second half so they all had the same gameplay, I'd do it. I'd fucking do it. I'd absolutely play
And
both
you've
these
just
games
given
back
Jim
to
Ryan
back.
his next game idea. Thank you.
I'm just, I mean, look, here's the thing. That is a gameplay change. Like, that is enough for me to be like, yeah, you know what? I'm not buying you day one because you're going to charge $70. But, like, you call me at 40, call me at 50 whenever I'm like really desperate for another hit. Yeah, sure. I'll do it. But, like, that's a gameplay change. Like, 2018, I'm never playing that game again. I'm never. There's no chance it stays on my shelf like forever. I'm never gonna question it if it belongs on the shelf. There's never gonna be a time where I'm gonna pull it. So at this point, that game is done to me, and the only way you'd get me back is a gameplay change. A remake where you're redoing the story? Bullshit. No chance it ever happens. No chance I ever want to see it. So, yeah, the Ragnarok. Yeah, that story though. The literal Ragnarok sucked. Like the literal Ragnarok sucked. What do you think?
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was great.
Ooh, why? Why?
I thought it was great. It was just like the culmination. You get the big kind of like it's hard to do a war thing in that kind of style of game. So I think they did the best they could. I think you finally have the event that happens, and you get that really cool moment beforehand where like he kind of has that dream back to his wife and
Okay, that shit's
and
good.
and and
That's
then a
good.
tent and the preparedness for it. So that was all really good. The build up to it and the lead up to it, and then it actually
Why
happened.
is there a war and he's giving a speech to 10 people?
It's great. Like, well, he's to the close.
It's 10
It's to his
people.
closest people, right? And then obviously that's gonna
Why?
spread out for everyone else. And I think it's cool, man, how they try to
Are
get
they going to repeat it?
what's that?
Are they going to repeat
Yeah,
it? Did they
I'm sure they
record
will.
it? Are they sending a TikTok
Yeah,
to the people at Helheim like, "Hey, thanks for fighting with us.
yeah, yeah.
Here's a video of Kratos saying all this speech with text bubbles up underneath
Yeah,
him."
exactly. But then it's great because then they're going realm to realm, and like all these people are coming to help, and like
They
the
don't
dwarves
go
don't
realm
actually
to
come to
realm.
help. It's just what's his name, Sindel. So I thought that was like a really cool twist.
Sindri.
Sindri, excuse me. And then
Sindel is the fighter from Mortal Kombat.
thanks. I don't know why I have her in my head. But then yeah,
Bonk.
they I think that whole part is awesome. And then you get like a couple of really like kick-ass boss fights in my opinion. I've seen a lot of hate towards the second Thor fight. I think it's great. Like it's not to me, it doesn't have that obviously that cool moment from the first one, but I don't know, man. I thought that fight was great, and then him kind of realizing like what a piece of shit Odin actually is, and then him just fucking biting the bullet like that's pretty cool. And then the final boss fight with Odin. While that's not my favorite boss fight in the game, I still think it's really cool, and I like the narrative behind it and the structure and the story of it. And then you get all that awesome kind of lead up into to the little dwarf fucker smashing him at the very end, which I think is great. So I don't the whole Ragnarok thing I think is great. And I think like people are being to me,
How?
people are being way too nitpicky on that shit. Like, oh, it
How?
happens so quickly, and there's all this stuff that like, oh, why is this person turning around so? Like, fuck off! It's a game. You don't got to
But
dig
he
that deep into it. We're not fucking doing fucking a history fucking lesson from Stanley Kubrick. This is a fucking video game. Just enjoy the ride.
Ah, it it's Ragnarok. They built up Ragnarok for like collectively like 80 hours of gameplay if you played both of them and if you like actually like, explored a little bit. How do you have Ragnarok be such a big thing and then it's like three corridors that you walk down and then you fight Thor in front of Odin's like summer home. Like it's not
You
even
didn't
like a
enjoy like the
big
but the
castle.
trench fighting was really cool. Like it was like you were like in a literal war.
It's just more fight.
You're fighting through these trenches. Like I
It's
thought that was neat.
I've done that so many times, like, in the rest of the game, and, like, now I'm that's the thing, like, at the end of the game, it ends up being a whole bunch of the Valhalla enemies? I don't even know what they're called. Like, you're fighting those enemies so much at the end of the game to just do like, here's the thing, I'm gonna tell you right now, if I got cool boss fights, I would have forgiven the trench run. I would have forgiven the trench run because Bear McCreary's music in that section is fucking slapping. It is perfect, okay? The problem is that when you get to Thor and when you get to Odin, I find those boss fights incredibly underwhelming, especially when you consider in 2018, like, I completely forgot that there's an entire like segment where Balder kidnaps you and Atreus and you're fighting on top of a dragon. It's like it's not even really a fight, it's just like a cutscene and interactive and like QTs and all that. But the thing is like that is so bombastic that it's fucking cool. Why am I not getting that at Ragnarok? Why is there Thor fighting the world serpent and I don't get to be involved in that? Why is it just a thing in the background? Put me in the fight. Like it's God of War. Like you gotta give me at least like some big bombast, okay? Like anyone who's complaining about like Uncharted 4 and those like, oh, there need to be more set pieces. I understand it, but also like the part like thematically in the game they don't work. If that's an entire argument, but like I listen, I don't want to spoiler. I don't want to spoil. I don't want to spoil Uncharted 4 as well as other things. So like that's a completely different argument that I don't want to bring up. But God of War in its DNA is kind of those big setups. In 2018, like Baldur is launching you into the sky so often, and it's so fucking cool with the one-shot camera that they have. You could have still done some shit like that at Ragnarok. Like those two boss fights annoy me because while they are fun fights, you can't have just another boss fight. Like the Heimdall boss fight is better than those two. Like it needed to be more. I didn't want to fight Thor in a pigsty, and I didn't want to fight Odin in his basement. Like it bothers me that like Ragnarok amounted to that. And like, yes, you're saying that like, oh, it's just a video game. The problem is that like 2018 is better than like most video games.
Oh, that's
So
true.
like,
That's true. But okay, like to your first point, I think we as a society need to normal. No, no, really,
we as a society. I know, I'm just fucking with you. Like, I can't hear that I can't hear that statement seriously
as
ever.
a society, we need to
normal. Joker says Game Pass is killing the industry.
Okay, we need to normalize.
Pentament is.
We need to normalize less set pieces in video games. I don't care about that shit. Stop with these bombastic set piece bullshit. Give me more intimate story moments like we had in God of War 2018. Yes, you had your
2018 did both.
2018 and so does Ragnarok, just not at the very end. Anyways,
that's when it matters the most.
Anyways, I completely and utterly disagree on the second Thor fight. I think the second Thor fight's fucking great. I can kind of see your point on the Odin fight a little bit though. Like that isn't my favorite boss fight in the game, but I really like the second Thor fight and the story it tells and then the story at the end of it. So I really like that whole thing. So I can't just, I'm not there with you at all. But the Odin fight, I can kind of see some of that. You could have had a little bit more of a bombastic spectacle with it, especially since it's the final boss fight in the game. But I don't know, man. I mean, I didn't have a huge problem with it because there was so much spectacle leading up to that point. Like, I get it. I get, like, yeah, they're hyping up Ragnarok throughout the entire game. To me, I think they did a good job. It felt very destructive. It felt very warlike. It felt like it was going to be the end of times if they didn't stop it. And that's exactly what I expected from Ragnarok. And yeah, you know, we didn't get to go over and fight some world serpent that fucking Thor's over there bashing with Major.
So fucking dope.
But like, I mean, we still got to like fucking kill some bad guys in the trenches and learn some more story beats. So that was cool.
God, the thing is, okay, look. I will go back and I will be nice to the Thor fight. The dialogue that happens in that fight and the small interstitials in between the phases are good. The problem is that why is Baldur giving me so much more fucking bombast in 2018 than literal Thor, the man who shows up at the end of 2018 as a hype stinger? Like, even the begin, like, I swear, just swap the fights. Just swap this fight with Thor for the one at the beginning, okay? Like, literally just make the first Thor fight whatever. I don't care, okay? It's an opening boss fight. Who cares?
But then you don't have that same punch that the opening has.
No. What I mean is that I want the axe and Mjolnir to clash in the end of the game. I want that lightning strike to show up at the end of the game. I want Thor to kill you and bring you back at the end of the game. I want cool shit to leave me off the fact that I'm disappointed that I'm going down like 3 alleyways to end this game. Is the atmosphere of it cool? Yes, but it's not enough to hide the fact that I'm just going down 3 hallways.
Yeah, see, I liked at the start of the game better. I think the end of the game is more for weaving the narrative and finishing off what you were doing with that. The beginning, you got this huge fucking spectacle and you get this fucking great boss fight that pulls you in right away. So yeah, I guess if you look at it that way, it might lead the second fight a little bit more anticlimactic because it doesn't have those same traits to it. But I don't know, man. I just really dug the story they were telling with it, and that's what matters the most to me.
I think that's what it is. It's like that you dug the story. Like I was pretty.
I still love the
like,
story. That's why I should clarify. Like, yeah, I like the story in 2018 more, but I still think the story in Ragnarok is one of the better in all of video games. Still, so
shit, man. Like this story, like I just. Like, it has moments. It has really good character moments. Like, Freya and all of her stuff talking to Kratos. Yeah, that's fine. I don't really give a shit that they're fighting a Nidhogg. Like, I don't really care about that.
That was so cool, though. That boss fight was great.
No, I'm saying the boss fight is cool, but I'm just saying, like, all of the narrative shit to get me to fight the Nidhogg, I don't fucking care. I just want to fight it. Like it's so weird because it's moments. It's moments. Fighting the Nidhogg is cool. I don't fucking care why we got to the Nidhogg to fight it. Freya and talking about Kratos, and it's like, I'm never gonna forgive you for killing up my kid, blah 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 blah. Like, all of that shit is good, but then I start thinking about, like, what happened before. I don't know. What happened after? She had a brother or something, a brother who died like a completely avoidable death just to have a death, basically. Like, you have a sentient sword. You telling me that you can't go into the portal and just leave the sentient sword? Like, what's wrong with you? You're telling me that, like, he dies, and then, like, Freya's just like, oh yeah, I had a brother that died. Anyways, like, it's... I don't know, man. This story feels like it's so much bigger, and because it's bigger, almost everything that isn't related to the characters feels like it's pointless. Like, I completely forgot. By the way, like, it's amazing how much of the story we didn't talk about in the spoiler cast, and I think that's just because of my lack of interest in the story. Like, I forgot about the fucking mask plot line entirely during the spoiler cast. I forgot
That's
about
such a great plot line, though.
What? It amounts to nothing.
Oh, it's so...
Like, all it is just to piss off Odin. Like, that's it.
It's so cool though, because that's his lore, like Loki and the mask. Like I love that. That was so cool.
It's like, here's the thing. Of course, maybe for the people who love the lore of Norse mythology, God, I fucking hate the word lore sometimes. Like, that's the thing. It's so degrading. Like, you ever think about that? Like, imagine someone's like, they just recently became a Christian, and they're just like, yeah, I love the lore of the Old Testament. It's like, I'm going to fucking choke you out. Jesus Christ. Yeah, no, I'm gonna have my bat mitzvah tomorrow. I'm brushing up on the lore of when God. Oh my God. I hate the word lore. That's a completely separate statement. Go ahead. You were going to say something.
I'm just going to say it. I thought that whole plot line was fucking great, man. Like, that's what one of my, like, okay, the area that everyone seems to fucking hate and bitch about is the first, or one of the first areas with the girl.
The Ironwood.
Yeah. Yes. I love that. That was so fucking cool to me.
You like story, goddammit!
That was so fucking cool to me. And like how it forced you to go slow, make you take your time, examine the surroundings.
Oh my God.
You get to meet all
I'm gonna fucking kill someone.
Like, that part was fucking incredible, man. That was some of the best story building in the game.
Let me kill someone without walking slowly, please. Oh my God, I lost my fucking mind. Oh my God, that section just pissed me off so much.
I love that. That was easily one of my favorite sections in the entire game, and I loved it too because it totally played on my expectations. Because, okay, it's funny. I actually, since we're full on spoilers here, I thought Odin was that girl at first. So he ends up he's Tyr, which is a great twist as well. But that's my original guess was I thought he was going to be that girl and he was fucking with Atreus' mind. So it was half right, but it was a different person.
Okay, look, I don't care about that little girl.
She was great. She was awesome.
Well, she's a plot device. Like, she's a plot device, and then afterwards they backfilled, like, oh yeah, we can't really have just a plot device, we should probably give her character. So then you have an extended sequence with her grandma, which, by the way,
awesome
grandma fight,
awesome fight.
Yep, grandma fight, yeah, good. That's a good fight. But again, what led up to that? What happened after? Nothing really. Honestly, like, that was just to be like, you see, she's not a cardboard cutout or a plot device. She has a grandma and she has issues.
See, I think
like it feels.
So I think if we want to circle back though and kind of look at a broad look at it, I think we can at least agree this is what makes this game so good, is that we both like this game basically for completely different reasons.
I mean, sure.
That's the mark of a good game. If you can draw two people in who like the game for completely different reasons and really like it, I don't know, man. That's impressive because that ain't easy to do.
I don't like. Okay, look, is it impressive? Yeah.
Because me and you, I'll give you an example. Me and you are not liking Returnal for different reasons. We both love Returnal for the exact same reasons. And there's
but the problem is that if someone doesn't like Returnal, they're just wrong.
I mean, true.
Like, I could honestly see someone who likes only story not liking Ragnarok. Like, that's the thing. Like, I could see someone Colin.
I mean, Colin likes Far Cry 6, so let's not.
No, you have to understand. There's a lot of lore behind Cuba. Okay,
Jesus Christ. All right. Anyways,
you see that now we're back to how disrespectful the word lore is.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, I'm learning a whole bunch of lore about the Jewish people who died in World War II and the Holocaust. Yeah, that's some good lore. You know, I go over to the Holocaust Museum and I hold square and I read Anne Frank's diary. You know, like, oh, good lore drop.
Oh, press that. Oh no, never mind. You know I'm not making that joke. No, we're gonna stop.
Press triangle to turn on oven.
No, we're gonna. You just move on.
It's okay if you go into accessibility settings, you don't have to tap triangle. You can just hold
I was
it.
gonna say press triangle to hide under the bed, but that works too.
Oh God! How did we get here with Ragnarok? That was like a really
Ragnarok
short.
is great. It's a fantastic game. We both like it for different reasons. While we're here, because we're already balls deep, and obviously, if you have more to say about Ragnarok, say it. But you should just bundle in 2005 here too, just so we get all the God of War out of the way.
I think I'm honestly gonna just like timestamp it a little bit after this because like why not? But like that's the thing. I feel like there's so much about this game that like I feel like can still be discussed because like seriously, man, this like I want to go back to your point about like, oh well, we like it for two different reasons. Like the thing is, it's like you like the story when I find the story messy. With guess which game I was getting vibes of about that. Anyways, but like I still think the gameplay was strong enough for me to like it, but it's like, man, I will play New Game Plus, and I think I might end up hating the story even more and just like lamenting. It's like, man, we got a lot of good moments, but also like, oh my god, some of the beats to get here, it's like, why are we doing this? Like, did you like Freya's brother? I was just like, whatever, you're here. You're just
Yeah, he was okay. He like I didn't hate him, but he was just there for me.
it's like I feel like anyone who isn't like Mimir or Freya or Thor or Kratos or Atreus, I'm just like, if you're not in this core cast, like Thor's the only new character that I was just like, you know what, I kind of dig you.
I liked
Odin is like a step below
Oh,
that.
I loved Odin, and I loved all of Thor's family too. I thought they were great. Heimar or Heimel.
Okay, oh no, never mind. I forgot. Heimdall's such a
Heimdall,
little shit.
yeah,
I love him.
he's great.
Never mind. I take it back.
I really liked all the new characters. The only one I don't really love, I guess, would be the brother. He was fine, but everyone else they introduced, I thought was really great.
What, Sindri or Brock or
New characters. I obviously love Sindri and Brock.
new brother character?
Huh?
You said you didn't like the brother. I'm like,
Freya.
Freya.
Yeah, Freya.
I forgot about him so quickly that I. My God, that character
I
sucks.
was talking about Freya's brother.
Never mind. You know what? I'm rolling back on him. I hate him actually.
Yeah, I don't hate him, but he's just there for me. That's why I think his death really didn't mean much to me at all. Because I was like, okay, I don't really care about you. Obviously, like when Brock dies, I was like, oh fucking, I was emotionally engaged in that and charged up. Especially like I heard some people like there were some people that were calling this more McCorny and stuff like that. But like when fucking Kratos asked
fuck that. That's good.
When Kratos asked for Brock to bless his weapon, that's such a great moment to me, man. I love that fucking moment. That was so cool.
No, that's golden. The thing is that Kratos is everyone's dad, okay? Let's just get that out of the way. Kratos is everyone's dad. So no dad is ever just gonna outright compliment you like entirely until like you graduate or you have a kid. Or like honestly, like it's those two things. I'm not speaking from experience. No, stop looking into that. So Kratos being like, you're a person too, the way he says it is fucking golden, man. Like if anyone doesn't like that and it's like it's cheesy, you don't have a dad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you grew up without one and your mother didn't give you enough love. I'm sorry, okay? That's the only explanation for that.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there really isn't if you think about it.
Harsh?
No, it's
I
harsh.
hope so.
It's harsh, but
I want it to be harsh, okay?
Yeah, it's harsh, but I mean, there really isn't if you think about it. So.
God, that was so mean. I think I might like. I had a Holocaust joke earlier, and I think that the dad joke might have been meaner.
Yeah.
Not everyone dealt with a Holocaust. Everyone dealt with a dad at some point. What the fuck is wrong with me?
True.
True. What's wrong with you? Yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else you want to bring up? Because
no,
we can do this so much longer.
No, we could, and like, well, we still have a full episode to do, and there's the spoiler cast. So I think I managed to say what I want. I wanted to suck its dick a little bit, and I think I got to suck its dick a little bit. You got to disagree with my full on choking of Ragnarok's dick, and I think we have both I think we have both said what needed to be said for this. I will say, and this is going to be the pony coming out in me a little bit. So this is always fun and exciting for me.
Jim only makes these games.
Well,
He's the only one who can make it like this. Jim, Sony.
Yes, all that. But I do I do feel there's absolutely starting to become a bit of a bias against these type of games. And I think they're just getting nitpicky with some of them, and some people are just flat out not enjoying them anymore, which I think is fine. And I don't think it's wrong for people to want Sony to try new and different things. I think Returnal was great, and I would love to see more stuff like that from Sony first party studios. But I also don't think it's fair to ask Santa Monica to turn around and make some fucking Japanese role playing game starring fucking Kiru-chan, right? Like
I'd fucking kill myself.
They have their wheelhouse and they're good at what they're good at. So for the love of God, if you're getting sick of these type of games and you want to fucking go suck off Todd Howard and play Starfield next year, great. I'm excited for you.
Just look. You don't need to insult Locke like that, okay? Well, he's a good man.
It's not just Locke. I'm excited.
He quits smoking, okay? It hurts him.
I'm excited for Starfield too, and I'm going to play Starfield day one, and I'm sure it's going to be a great game. But not every game is going to be like that or needs to be like that. There's lots of different types of games for lots of different types of people. Leave my fucking cinematic adventures alone. Thank you and good night.
Okay, look, in that same breath, because that now just gave another shot in the arm of this argument, my disappointment, more than anything else, is that, like, while the gameplay had minor improvements, like, that's the thing, do we not, oh god, I'm about to unironically say this, I'm literally walking into it, do we not want them to be better? Like Ragnarok, yes, you think it's better, but, like, it's not. Like, that's the thing. If you're having to comment on the fact that people are taking this so negatively and nitpicky, like, it's because, like, 2018 was so good and we kind of want it to be better.
Yeah, and I mean, that's fair, but it's like when you... okay, I'll give you an example. And maybe this isn't fair, but I'm going to use this as an example. When you're fucking... what's the guy's name? Hold on. What's the director of Whiplash's name?
Damien Chazelle.
Thank you. When you're Damien Chazelle and your first fucking movie is Whiplash, yes, you want every single fucking movie to be better than that. Not gonna happen though. It's not gonna fucking happen. 2018 was such lightning in a bottle and was a fucking masterpiece. Yes, Ragnarok is a direct sequel. I know this is a bit of a different scenario. We're not talking about Whiplash
and different medium.
I get it. We want it to improve, and it does improve. It improves in so many different aspects, like the gameplay aspects, the enemy variations, the boss fights. Those are all so much better in Ragnarok. It doesn't quite hit the same narrative highs that 2018 does, but I mean, that's the thing about a video game, man. It's tough sometimes, especially when you've created something that's as good as 2018.
Damien Chazelle didn't spend 5 years making sure that the drums were made out of solid gold, and he's like, well, shit, now I have to go and make a second movie because I spent so much time on the drums. Like, I don't think that you can use that analogy when they're two different mediums that are handled completely differently. It's not like I spent all that money on Schaefer Conservatory. Shit, now I need to make sure that I use it in the next movie, or else I'm gonna take it as a write down on my taxes. Like I don't think it works because like even look at like Uncharted 2 to Uncharted 3. Like
no,
it's on the same console.
No, let's not get into that. Let's not. Uncharted 3 sucks compared.
Oh yeah. Oh whatever. Okay, fine.
Person on that one.
You know what? Fuck you. Uncharted 2 to 4 then. Better?
Yeah, sure.
Are you happy now? Okay. Now, of course, in that same breath, different console. That's fine. But nothing in Uncharted 4 is nothing you couldn't have done on a PS3 by scaling back the graphics, and I swear by that. So, I think you can still have a sequel that jumps up above the previous one and still be a little different. This game cutting so close to 2018 means that anything that makes it worse than 2018 stands out even more, while if it were just changed even a little more, then you can get away with things being a little worse because it's like, well, it's not exactly the same thing. Like, my cope for Ragnarok is to make it better in my mind is by calling it the second half of 2018. So then all of the weaknesses that Ragnarok has to me, I can just be like, well, the first half has it. There we go. Solved.
I don't know, man. I just see so many sequels to games that are not as good as the first. And I don't know why we're just picking on Ragnarok for this. There's so many fucking games where the second
no game is as good as 2018.
I mean, that's fair. And then to your credit, yeah, be better. You have very high standard. I get it. That's fair. But then in the same breath, we should still acknowledge that Ragnarok is better than 95% of other games out there.
Yes. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Okay. That's why I'm very happy, like I said again.
That we're on the same page. End of story. That's all I care.
Okay. Good enough. Actually, you know what? That is completely fine. Score is going to be still a top 5, exclusive of the PS4 gen leading into PS5 gen out of 10. Like, still, like, I have major, honestly, I think at this point, like, the fact that I can't not bring them up means that I have major complaints. But at the fucking end of the day, man, God, I can't even say axe go whoosh anymore, because I swear that the axe throwing in 2018 is better than Ragnarok, and it got nerfed in Ragnarok. Like, I don't think it's as satisfying. So my second score is going to be Blades Go Wish out of 10.
My score is 50 minutes of discussion just to sum that all up into a 9 out of 10. All right.
Look, I'm gonna say, like, look, I know, like, that's the thing. I feel like this game warrants enough discussion that you could totally do that. So another credit to the game.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so you want to save? You said 2005 for later, then, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
So we can take a break.
All right,
Like,
so I
yeah,
got
go
a
for
bunch of shit I got to start bowling through then. But let's talk about one that I actually want to talk about. So let's go from a little bit. Let's talk about A Plague Tale Requiem. I want to get into this shit because we were just talking about Ragnarok. We're talking about
God, you
great
are
narrative
going
games.
The Cuckman Classic is going to be brought up. If I couldn't fucking bring it up before, now the temptation is even stronger.
All right, so here's the thing. So I mean, I guess we're going to probably go into spoilers here, but we'll start from
totally.
from just a base level. I think this game's worse than the first one. I do. After spending some
Jesus
time with it,
Christ.
I do think it's worse than the first one. I think visually, at times, it's completely stunning and it looks gorgeous. So it has that going for it. I think it's a gorgeous looking game.
And then their faces move.
And then their faces move. Yeah, like I said, the animation is like AA quality, but the actual like just raw visuals of it are really, really nice. So I appreciate that. And there were times in this game where the story was like, "Oh, you're tugging at something interesting thing here. Are you gonna go through with it? Or are you gonna push it further like a certain Neil Cuckman would?" And they didn't. They didn't. They left it safe. They played it safe, and I did not like any of those moments at the end of the game. So
what? Okay, oh my god! Can you not do this? We just got done with Ragnarok, and you made me force it to go into spoilers sooner, and now I'm not gonna force it. I've already done that once. Okay, I'm not gonna do that to you again. But shit, you are really tempting me here.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, that's basically all I have to say. So we can go to spoilers if you want.
Oh, that's it.
And side note, before one more thing before we go into spoilers, I really don't know if the voice acting would be better if I did it in the country's like home language, but I really think all of the voice acting in these games, the first and the second, are close to appalling. I do not think they are good, and they take me out of the experience. I think Amicia is the only one that's like half decent to me, and she's good.
Okay.
Everyone else is just appalling to me, and just it takes me out of the experience.
Okay, since I can speak about that without spoilers, I'm not gonna put my rebuttal in spoilers. Amicia, I think, is actually really good. Like, I think she is actually
she's good. I'll go good.
Like, she's anchoring it hard, and to the point where whenever you talk about literally anyone else, I can't remember anyone else and what their voice sounds like. So you know what? I'm not even going to argue for the extra of them. As long as Amicia gets her flowers, I'm okay.
I mean, Amicia's good. Amicia's good, but that's the problem. The game is so centered on her, and
I mean, she's the strongest one.
She's the emotional weight of it. That like every other character means nothing in this game.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well,
that's fine.
I mean, but then you have if you have a good game like The Last of Us Part 2, you have a bunch of characters that you learn to love and appreciate. But
where are they?
They're all there.
Where?
There's so many.
Fucking where?
There's so many of them.
Is it the girl who only gets no? I'm God damn it! Oh my god, you.
All right, I'm gonna go into spoilers.
This is why I knew. This is why I knew you were a good choice. Like, literally 44 episodes later, or however, when the fuck you ever started, whatever. You've been here since the beginning. Whatever. We're gonna go back and edit you into my solo episodes just so I could say that you've always been here. 44 episodes deep, and I can tell you right now that the way that you have me tilted is why I knew you were a good choice. God damn it!
All right, I'm gonna start spoilers now in 3, 2.
Wait, hold on, no, not spoilers, not spoilers. Let me vaguely.
Sure.
The first game, bad because I didn't even finish it. The second game actually got me to play it entirely, so that's my spoiler-free impressions. Continue. Go spoilers.
Again. Second game, it's not bad. It's not a bad game. It's fine, but worse than the first in my opinion for narrative reasons that I'll talk about later. All right, spoilers. So 3, 2, 1. thank fucking Christ they killed the kid at least. Jesus God, I don't think.
How is that not ballsy?
As much as
How is that not ballsy?
Because that's fucking obvious. That's what you're gonna do. Come on, you
You
have two
kill
choices.
a kid. There's nothing that doesn't like. It's not. It's always ballsy to kill a
You have
kid,
two choices.
especially in a fucking video
You
game.
have two choices. You have two choices in this game. One, you find a
Yes,
giant.
bitch out or not bitch
You
out.
find it, yeah, you bitch out and you find a giant MacGuffin like a little bitch, and you're like, okay,
Correct.
never mind, they're gonna be fine now. This annoying character that no one likes is gonna stay alive. Or two, you fucking
Yes.
kill the character. Like,
Yes.
that seems like the obvious choice to me. And my hatred for Hugo was so high that there was no emotional attachment to me at this point. I was like, okay, great, I'm finally getting to kill this little shithead. Like, thank God, because he has brought nothing but pain and misery to everyone around him. Now, is it his fault specifically? I mean, some of it, but not all of it. But like,
I mean, he is a little shit.
is.
Yes, yeah, he cursed and all that, but like, he's a little shit.
Yeah, and how am I supposed to feel bad for him? Like, I'm not. I'm sorry. And God, like, and then Amicia, like, God bless her heart. Like, she's trying her best, and you finally get some really cool moments from her where she's like fucking turning into the Incredible Hulk and just starts killing everything. And like, these moments are great, but they never fully commit to it. They just kind of like.
They do though. Like, come on. How do you?
She has these giant sequences where she kills all these people. She kills them all, and then Hugo's like, "Amicia, please try not to kill all these people again. That made me sad." And then Amicia's like, "Okay, Hugo, I'll try for you." Like, fuck off. Just let her.
And then she still kills everyone. She still kills everyone. What are you talking about?
It's really
like, literally, she kills him.
Killing machine, but then it's the same thing afterwards. It keeps turning into a game of, oh, but you're better than this, Amicia. Like, you don't have.
Yes, and you know what happened? The one person who's saying that is dead.
God for that. Fuck me.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, they fully go through with it. Like, she's killing people. Hey, don't kill people. She's like, okay, I'm going to kill you now. Like, yes, that's going through with it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It just, nothing in this game narratively worked for me. Like, the first game, at least there was a sense of, like, I felt like the first game would have worked good as a standalone game because there was a bit of finality. They kind of find their own way. They may have, you don't know what's going to happen to them. It's left a little bit ambiguous, but, you know, maybe they're good now. But now we've got this whole sequel that we didn't need where the brother's dead now. And now basically she becomes, I guess, this protector now and has to keep an eye out for this thing. So much so that they do this really stupid, bad looking CGI cutscene in the future after the credits, which I thought was just stupid. I'm like, oh God, are they trying to set up like a fucking game in the future? Like, what are they doing with this? Like,
I forgot about that cutscene at the end. Why is it going into the future? That might be the stupidest shit ever.
Stupid.
Honestly.
And I'm like, why? Like, are you trying to tease a third game in the future? Like, yeah, okay, no, I'm out. I'm out already. I'm triple out if that's the case. But like,
they're going to Watch Dogs fucking. Oh my God, they're going to Assassin's Creed to Watch Dogs is gonna be Plague's Tale Innocence to whatever the next Plague's Tale game is. Fucking gouge my eyes out. Why?
Yeah, baby. I don't know. I feel like, and again, I know you don't like this, but I'm gonna say it. I feel like so much of this game is just like you wish you were Naughty Dog, and I'm sorry, you're not. You tried very hard.
Thank God they're not. Thank God they're not.
Unfortunately, you're not. Like, you tried very hard, and I appreciate that because, you know, you're trying to replicate greatness, and I understand that's hard to do. But you guys swung and you missed, and you're just not the kind of level of caliber of a studio of Naughty Dog, and that's okay. You can still make some good little cute games that will be fine, but maybe don't try to do something so serious next time. Maybe try to do something a little bit more fun, a little bit more wacky. That's probably going to be more in your wheelhouse than something super serious like this.
I love how imagine if there was a developer somehow that listened to us, how condescending that would sound. Hey, go make your cute little toys. Leave Naughty Dog for the art.
I I hate to sound like snobbish like that, but man, if the shoe fits, you just didn't. This game just felt so badly to me, like it wanted to be a Sony classic, and it's not.
Goo goo gaga making little fucking toys for Game Pass, piece of shit.
No, but it's on PS5, so I'm not even trying to turn this into a console thing.
No, I know. Just let me be an asshole.
It's fine, and I get it. And a lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh, he's being a pony right now," and I am unadulterated. I am a pony, but I don't like. I feel like this is the type of game that like Ragnarok is getting a trillion little fucking criticisms right now, and this game is getting none of that, and I don't understand that for a second, because this
Because the
game,
first game isn't good, and this is an improvement.
but a lot of people like the first game though. So like, where's the
Yeah,
fucking?
they're wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but like, where's the fucking outrage over the fucking bad fucking writing in this game? There is none, because it's stupid, and whatever.
Look, if you have a problem child getting a C plus on something, it's like, oh, good
Yeah.
job. But if you have an A plus student pull a C, it's like, whoa, bro, what are you doing then?
Fair enough. Anyways, that's all I got to say about this turd. It's actually not a turd. Spoiler, it's a 6 out of 10. It's solid.
No, that's what happens. We're just mean.
Yeah,
It's
mean.
good.
It's not,
actually say it's a piece of shit.
It's better than I was. It's better. It's not better than I was expecting, but it's not a terrible game. It's just not what I want. Especially if you're gonna make a game that's slow walky narrative stuff, you got to be at least do a baseline of like Horizon Zero Dawn. And if you can't at least hit that baseline,
No, they cleared that.
No, they didn't. The Forbidden West is a much better game than this.
Is it the most AAA game that you've ever experienced?
I mean, it does all the little things right, so I appreciate that about it.
Yeah, no, the UI is good, so therefore the game is
the
good.
UI is really fucking good in Forbidden West. Like, Ragnarok should have learned from that. Anyways,
God of War, handshakes, Elden Ring, bad UI, great game.
I will compliment one thing about this game though, and that is I did like the whole idea of like, depending on how you played, you got certain stat increases. That was kind of cool, and I'm sure there are other games that have done that. But it's been a while since I played one like that, so I was like, that's cool, and I wish more games did that, because that was a neat idea. I liked it.
It made it annoying to me though, because like I was fucking killing these people. Like my favorite chapter was with Arno, like Arno and his sword.
Just killing everyone. It's the same thing,
dude. I loved Arno. Like I thought this guy was an asshole trying to kill us, but the moment they gave me him in gameplay, I was like, this is how you get me to love a character. This man is helping me absolutely demolish these people. Throw a rock in their face. Arno goes in and just stabs him. I was like, fuck yeah. Like that is something that I was like, yeah, this is gameplay supporting story supporting gameplay. Yes. Oh, I'm becoming powerful. Like, oh my god, that was great. And then come on, man, like you're really not gonna let Amicia being like, I'm gonna kill you, and the Baron just fucking cleaning clock on her. Like, come on. Like if this game were to bitch out, she would catch him off guard and kill him. But nope. This man goes, fuck you, you're a little girl, I don't care, I'm going to fucking just wreck you.
I mean, if you really want to go, you're asking me like, if you want to really be unpredictable, the really unpredictable thing to do here would have been to kill Amicia, and then you have that little shit-stained Hugo surviving, but you just,
Jesus Christ, no, that's a terrible choice. That's a terrible choice. That's a Last of Us 2 choice.
Well, that's the problem. You couldn't make a likable character in Hugo. If you made Hugo likable, you could do that, sure. I actually think that would be a really good twist, but you couldn't do that.
Yeah, that's a good fix. Yeah, honestly, yeah. Like, here's the thing. I don't care about the plot, because Amicia is here's the thing. I'm starting to realize that, like, even in relation to Ragnarok, I just don't think games should try not heavy plots, but like complicated plots where it's like a whole bunch of shit weaving together. Like, I don't want that. Just have simple story setups and then have characters that are worth following, because like that was the formula for 2018. That was the formula for The Last of Us. Like, and then you look at the sequels and I'm like, oh wow, I think I had the same problem across both. And this game, I like Amicia enough that even though I don't really give a shit about any other character, the fact that they affect Amicia means that I care through her. It's kind of like, you know, like imagine you had like a really good friend and you just really hate their spouse and like who they chose to love. It's like, man, I kind of don't want to deal with the other people, but like if you got cheated on, I'd be glad they left your life. I'd be glad, like I'd hope they leave your life. Don't fucking stay with them. That general rule for anyone: if you get cheated on, just leave them. Like I'm glad that they left your life, but I am sad that you got hurt. That's basically how I felt about Amicia, because like Hugo sucks, but like even when Hugo was getting like fucking just demolished with a rock in his face, I felt bad for Amicia, not because Hugo was like, I don't give a shit about Hugo. Hugo's dead, cool, good, honestly, but like I feel bad that Amicia had to kill her own brother. Like that's why the game still worked for me, because like the plot, whatever, it's window dressing to get me to the hard end point of Amicia not being able to accept that she's not going to be able to save Hugo, and I dug that.
Yeah, all right. Anyways, I don't have anything else to say about this shit state. 6 out of 10.
Is it the worst 6 out of 10 or is it the best 6 out of 10?
No, it definitely would be on the lower end of my 6 out of 10. So
I fucking hate you. Oh my god. Uh Game Pass out of 10. Actually trash. Like garbage.
Yeah.
I actually think I hate the game. The fucking Xbox out of 10.
All right. Speaking of Xbox, let's continue on and talk about Somerville.
I
this
might put
is
a rock.
this is the game by the this is a game by the Playdead studio people that broke off, I guess, or whatever. I don't know the whole fucking drama behind it, but I guess they broke off and they made their own separate studio. Then this game came out of it. It's a Game Pass exclusive for now, or well, not Xbox exclusive, I should say, not Game Pass exclusive. Look, this game. Here's the thing: I didn't like Limbo. Wasn't a fan of Limbo. Ended up loving Inside though. I thought Inside was really great. This is closer to Limbo than it is to Inside for me. It is better than Limbo, I feel, but not by much. I mean, there's some really cool vibes here, especially early on. Like I was like actually really drawn into this game early on, but then it kind of gets going, and then like I don't know, the whole. It's not a long game. It's only like 4 hours, but then like the middle and the end chunk, like obviously I can't really spoil anything, but it's just I didn't really like it. And then you have this really like obtuse ending that's like I had to like look up a guide for and be like, all right, what do you want me to do here? And then I'm like, oh, that's like I mean maybe there was a way to figure this out naturally, but fuck if I know how you were supposed to figure it out naturally. And I just and then even like doing it like didn't make any of the endings feel worthwhile. So I don't know. I'm pretty down on it overall. I do really like the start of this game though, and some of the vibes, and it's short enough that if you just want something to kill for a few hours, it's not the worst thing ever. So it was fine, but yeah, not much more than that. So it's like a 6.5 out of 10.
I don't think I'm ever going to play this game because honestly, if I'm going for a small indie game on Game Pass, like Pentiment is right there. And I
Yeah,
think
I'll
like
talk
out of
about that.
all the games, by the way, what kind of game is this? Because I've only heard about it. I have no idea what like actual in-game works. Like what is
Like
that?
Somerville?
Yeah.
It's well, have you played Limbo or Inside?
Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm
It's
so
just
dumb. Yeah,
it's
you
literally
literally
just
said
like
that.
that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You know what? Even if this game were good, I'm just gonna give this the score of filtered out of 10. Like that play that just doesn't speak to me. Like, I'm just like, man, this is a 2D game. I kind of don't want to deal with this. Like, I I don't really want a 2D atmospheric game that's like puzzles. Like, I kind of want to do something more kinetic. Like, that's the thing is like I feel like I'm definitely in my wave right now because like there is a wave where it's like if it's not a good story, it's not a good game. And then right now I'm like probably peak game. Am I? Yeah, no, I'd probably say that right now I'm swinging way more towards gameplay. I don't know if I'll ever swing
Bring
back, but
back old
like,
Ed.
yeah, no, he was a fucking asshole. Like, this man was way too up his own ass. Like, I'm so glad that like I can now appreciate different things. Like, oh yeah, this is why I'm so happy about my 2 to 3 things done exceptionally. Like, because like as long as you're doing that, I'm completely fine. So yeah, like fuck it. I don't even care if people are less negative on this one. I'm gonna give the score of filtered out of 10.
All right, speaking of filtered out of Tad, oh, Elden Ring. So let's.
Okay, so what I was gonna ask you is we didn't get a stream for this, right?
No, I didn't stream it. I will stream it though eventually.
God damn it.
I will stream it
Okay.
because I literally only played for like maybe half an hour. So
Where can people find you on Twitch?
you can find me on. Oh, by the way, I don't ever shout my own shit out, but eventually I'm gonna have to. That eventually is now twitch.tv/adaholic. Tune in next Thursday live at around like 5 or 6 p.m. I don't know yet for sure, and it's gonna be the Addies, the most breathtaking award show you'll ever see. So tune in for that.
The Twitch, remember everybody, it's 2Ds, okay? We all know that people love double Ds.
But yeah, you can also see me on there when I eventually stream Elden Ring. So here, bit of backstory. I got a bunch of fucking gift cards from Best Buy for upgrading my phone. So I was like flush with them. So I was like, well, fuck it. Like Elden Ring's on sale. Why not? Fuck it. If I'm going to get filtered, I might as well not pay for it really. So I bought it. I installed it. I wasn't even going to play it, but I was like, because I wanted to do a proper stream, but I'm like, oh, let's throw it on for like half an hour and create a character. So I created my character and had him like run out into the world and do a couple things. I was like, all right, it's kind of cool. And then right away, like basically you get into this nice, very gorgeous, by the way, looking open area, like right at the start of the game, big green lush everywhere. You can see castles in the distance, all this stuff looks really cool. But there's this fucking giant gold piece of shit, like riding on his little fucking horse, like galloping back and forth. And of course, you're gonna go see this piece of shit because he's like the closest thing like in your proximity, right?
So yeah, he's golden as fuck too.
Yeah, he's golden as fuck. She's like, all right, well, I want a piece of this guy. Problem is, you not really want. I don't think you're supposed to want a piece of this guy yet because he basically fucking kills you in like a swing and a half. and,
Two
and
two swings,
two
two swings.
swings.
Trust me, I know because I fucking beat him in the first few hours.
Yeah, so like I spent about half an hour dying to that guy, and I was like, all right, well, we're gonna have to try this again at some other point. And that's about my only touchstone with Elden Ring. I will get back to it at some point. I will probably still end up getting filtered, but I will stream it, and it will be funny for everyone to watch.
All right, everybody. Gold Shield Guy, I think, is the name for the video that I have of me literally walking out of the door. I fought this man for like an hour or two. No leveling up, literally level 7 or 8 or whatever they give you outside of the door. I was a samurai. I took this man on and I fucking beat him. And I have footage, and it was so fucking cool. And god damn it, Elden Ring's the goddamn game of the year. Oh god, I'm I don't know what I'm doing, but like okay, so I'm thinking I'm gonna keep playing the God of War games. Like I'm on this wave. I want to keep going, but Dark Souls 3 is staring at me, and like after Ragnarok kind of leaving me a little bit colder on the challenges. Like 2018 kicked my ass, and I was like, oh my god, oh that was painful. I'm talking about like back then. Now with the recent playthrough that I had of 2018 on Give Me God of War, that was almost unfair how disadvantaged I was. Unfair that I put myself in it, not the game itself. If I was properly leveled, it probably would be a little more fair. But like that was such an unfair experience for me that like that didn't satisfy my need for difficulty. And Ragnarok, the fact that like I guess I was way too fucking cracked at that game, that like playing it on hard felt like a good challenge, but it wasn't enough for me. So yeah, like when we talked about shit, man, I went way off the rails. um yeah. Oh yeah, Elden Ring. Yeah, Elden Ring. I still have, I think, Melania and the Platinum to do. I think I might be a little bit too far gone to be able to come back to it. So, Dark Souls 3 is staring at me. I kind of want to do that and then see if that builds up some of my skills enough to be able to go back to Elden Ring. So, yeah, Elden Ring. Oh, God bless that game. I fucking love that game out of 10.
Oh, filtered out of 10 so far. All right. And then moving on, we're
I can't wait for the stream. I can't wait for it.
keeping on with the Xbox theme, let's talk about Pentiment and finish off my games. Pentiment is I mean, it is an RPG, but it's almost more of a visual novel RPG. It's very interesting, from Obsidian Games. Directed by Josh Sawyer, who obviously was in charge of Fallout New Vegas, and he's done a lot of stuff over there. But Fallout New Vegas is like probably the favorite thing I've ever played from him. Very interesting game. I'm not too far into it now. I think I want to say like 2-3 hours in, maybe 4. So pretty early on still. It's very different from what I was expecting. It's very historical, which I did expect that. But it's pretty accessible, all things considered. A lot of writing, a lot of reading. But a very interesting story nonetheless, and I think it's just starting to get going. People have been kind of going a little bit, like people in the circles that I follow, anyways, have been going a little bit crazy for this game. I'm not quite there yet. I'm very intrigued by it though, and it is good. So I'm going to keep playing it. We're going to keep going with it and kind of seeing where it takes us. And then hopefully, I think by the next episode, I should be done, because I don't think it's a super, super long game. Or like around like 15 to 20 hours. So I should definitely be done that by the next episode. But yeah, so far it's interesting. I do like it. And I can definitely see why some people wouldn't like this game. Like I think it's definitely for people that are going to enjoy a story first experience, and not much more than that.
All right, Pentiment. Considering that man, I don't remember when was the last time that I had a game story just be like, fuck, man, that had something special for me. Look, I doubt you would, because you have just as bad memory as I do. Can you remember if there's any game that I've just been like blown away by the story, or no? Or
Like just the story alone, you mean?
yeah, like in any game, like like the closest thing I could think is Ghost of Tsushima, but like even then, I was just like, yeah, I really dug that. Like I got into the game, but like
Probably,
I don't really think it was the story.
probably for me, it was Persona 5 Royal back in 2020. If I had to pick one, um, I don't know. I think it is the story too. Like it is definitely part of the whole overall experience and package of that game. But I really did love the story of that too. And then if you want to go further back than that, I mean, it's probably Automata.
Okay.
which I played 2019, 2018. So probably what I would say.
Yeah, man, I'm actually in a story drought because like I'm looking at my favorite games and I'm looking at my game of the year since like back to 2010. I don't think I've had a game put me on my ass from a story since Red Dead 2 and God of War in 2018.
That's
Like Automata, that's the thing. Automata. Okay, actually, you know what? 2018 was fucking cracked for me because like in 2018, I played Automata, Red Dead 2, and God of War.
yeah.
Like that year was fucking insane for me. And then I just think like I haven't really recovered for comparison's sake, because like I know there may be questions. 2020, my game of the year was Final Fantasy VII Remake. I still stand by that, and my runner-up was Ghost of Tsushima. Final Fantasy VII, I think, was just more impressive to me the fact that like I really dug the gameplay and that it actually like it landed for me. I don't really think it was like, oh my god, the story. I'm like, oh shit, like I actually like what you guys did here, and like that was way more than I expected. Ghost of Tsushima, again, like I said, like I'm like I like everything that came along with it. I don't really think the story alone. Now here's where I have to explain myself. 2021, my game of the year was Near Replicant, of course. Like fucking obviously, why would it not be? The thing is like I played Near Gestalt, so like Replicant really didn't put me on my ass because like that was a replay for me. Honestly, Gestalt kind of put me more on my ass because that was my first experience with it. Replicant, I mean, Ending E definitely put me on my ass, but like that's like that's an expansion. Not even like it's a no, yeah, it is an expansion. It's an expansion comparative to my experience with Gestalt. So like that doesn't really count. And then my game of the year this year is Elden Ring. Like I could safely say that at this point because I'm yeah, right. So yeah, like it hasn't been since 2018 that I've had a game story actually like just be like, fuck, man, that was good. And it doesn't help that it was 3 games that year. So Pentament, considering that it is practically like it's probably mean, but I'm gonna call it a visual novel or whatever, like a choice game. I don't know, but like the fact that that is the selling point, and even people who aren't usually into that, AJ, uh, are speaking that the writing is that good. It makes me want to try it and kind of hope that this is gonna be the next story finally in a video game that I'm like, fuck, this is good. So yeah, Pentiment, who the fuck knows when I'm getting to it, because again, I'm trying to ride this wave and get through all of the original God of War games out of 10.
All right, it's we'll see out of 10. All right, so I got 16 things left, and these are all movies. So I'm just gonna start bashing through some of this shit. All right, here we
The
go.
Dorian Hour,
Yeah.
let's go.
Okay, so let's start with some. Let's start with this. I call this the filter pair. We've got The Long Day Closes and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. We'll start with The Long Day
Oh my
Closes.
god.
I really didn't like this movie. This movie was really artsy and fartsy, and like just how it felt like there was just a bunch of like interconnected scenes, like or barely connected scenes, I should say, with like music thrown over top of it and like fucking weird dancing and shit. I do not know. I honestly was so fucking bored to tears throughout this entire movie. I really just did not like anything here. So yeah, I really have nothing else to say about this movie. This movie is very popular from the people that have seen it. I know Buffalo the Clown loves it. I do not understand anything why anyone would like this movie. It just feels so pretentious and up its own ass for me. So not for me. 2 out of 5.
I want you to know that, like, you know, like the recent apps that you have on your phone, like you bring that up and you can see everything like you just recently had open.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want you to know that I've had the Long Day Closes open on Letterbox on my recent apps as a constant reminder. And I mean to watch it. I honestly was thinking that if I just like somehow had to push recording today to tomorrow, I would have watched it today. But again, like the fact that like I'm on this God of War wave, I kind of don't want to lose it, considering that like I got, you see, this is what I'm talking about. Like going back to my pretentious self, where it's like, if it's not a good story, it's not a good game. Like God of War wasn't doing shit for me when I tried to playing it all those years ago. So like, I want to ride this wave where I'm like, yeah, this gameplay's kind of doing it for me. So like, I am trying to ride that more, especially because games are definitely meant to be more pausable than movies. Like, I don't want to disrespect a movie by pausing it. So having the baby nearby, it's like, man, I don't want to pause it. If this is, if she's in my arms and she's not vibing with the movie, it's like, oh, I can't just tell you to shut up. I can't do that. So, like, I'm gonna watch it soon. I think it might be the next movie that I watch. So I just need to get over this hump to try and see how watching a movie for myself will be with a baby. Because, like, Wizard of Oz, I just needed her in the room to listen to it. So even if, like, she just had a meltdown, hey, you're still listening to it while you're crying. Or, like, I could turn it up loud enough that you don't hear your cries and all you hear is, we're off to see the Wizard of Oz. So yeah, like, I'm scared to watch a drama if for some reason she's with me and it ruins it for me. So yeah, like, this one I hope to watch soon out of 10, basically.
Ooh, yeah, two out of 5 for me. And then
Now this is where you're wrong.
Kiss Bang Bang. Yeah.
God.
So I posted on Letterboxd. It is better than Iron Man 3. Thank fuck for that. This movie though, it just feels like it's all style and no substance. Like, it's just so obsessed with it's so obsessed with being this cool, slick little movie that they forgot to actually make something that's enjoyable to go along with it. Robert Downey Jr. is acting his ass off here, and I always appreciate him, but everyone else is basically forgettable in this movie. And I love Val Kilmer, but he was just there for me. Like, he didn't really add anything to this movie for me. And yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I felt myself very bored watching this because it was trying to do one slick funny moment to the next slick funny moment, and there was very little meat on the bones here for me to enjoy this movie.
Okay, so now my question is, did you like The Nice Guys?
I haven't seen The Nice Guys.
Never watch The Nice Guys.
Yeah, probably should.
Please never watch The Nice Guys. I don't want to hear you be like, oh, whatever. Like, it's just two characters having fun times. Like, yeah, I like that shit. What's wrong with that, huh? I want to see Robert Downey Jr. and Val Kilmer have snappy one-liners back and forth with a mystery that doesn't matter, okay? I sometimes just like that. Get off my back. I hate you. I hate you so much. Don't insult this movie. This movie's so nice. And so is The Nice Guys.
2.5 out of 5.
I'm gonna cry. These are fun. Shane Black writes fun dialogue, and he gives fun actors to have fun.
And you should try making something good, not fun. All right, moving on. I'm going to talk about Unpregnant next. This is a 2020 film directed by Rachel Lee Goldenberg that is a HBO Max exclusive, so who knows when it'll get pulled. It also stars it stars Haley Lou Richardson, who's also in Split and After Yang, and that's actually the reason this movie was on my radar, really at all. Is because after Yang, and she wasn't in it a lot, but I really liked her performance, and I went and looked at her filmographies, and I added a couple other movies randomly in there, and this one looked light and fluffy and kind of fun, and that's exactly what it was. Just a road trip of a couple of young girls trying to get an abortion. Good times. 3 out of 5.
Okay, look, I'm going to echo what Sam said. The problem is that he said it first, so then I was like, well, I'm not going to mention it. I swear to God, this was unplanned. I thought you were talking about the movie Unplanned. Do you know what this movie is?
Unplanned? No, I don't.
Unplanned is this movie that came out like in 2019.
Oh, is that the one with the abortion one that got all the controversy? I think I have heard of that.
The Christian propaganda abortion movie?
Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. Like, yeah. I swore that's what you were watching. I was like, what the fuck are you? Did you watch basically Planet Lockdown? Like, what did you do? Like, oh my God, I don't know why.
Although I think when Unpregnant might have been.
I have no idea what the name of that movie is, actually.
That's some good passive pixel lore. I think Unpregnant might be the response film to that Unplanned, because it's literally a pro-abortion film, and just like trying to like rub it in everyone's face about it. So I was like, okay, yeah, this is cool. And obviously I don't give a shit. Like, get an abortion, like, fucking don't restrict women's rights and accesses. Not to get political on the show, but yeah. So I was like the right audience, I guess, for this movie. But I had a fun time with it. It was good.
Listen, if people want to murder their own babies, fuck it.
Yeah. Better than being in this world, honestly. All right, you get a score for that.
So No, here's the thing. I want you to know that the reason I'm even mentioning this is that, of course, I remembered you when you talked about this movie, and I brought that up. Right now, I'm on YouTube. I'm looking up the abortion scene from Unplanned. She objected. I don't have sound at all. She objected, and they just like kind of pushed her down. It's like, no, you're getting this abortion. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh, okay, yeah. They just literally got to the point where they sucked out a baby's. Jesus Christ! Oh my god, they are liquidating that fucking baby through a suction tube. Jesus Christ! Oh my,
See,
oh my god!
this sounds entertaining to me. It made me want to see more abortions.
Jesus, hold on, I'm sending this shit to
I'm not
you. Oh
watching
my
this right now.
god, unplanned abortion scene. That's what I looked up. Jesus Christ, that dude, they literally had the baby just like clawing its way out. Oh my god.
I'll watch.
Okay,
I'll
yeah, that
watch
was
that
actually kind
later.
of comedic.
I'll watch that later.
Yeah, no, you don't have to watch it right
Yeah.
now, but I'm looking at that as like, Jesus Christ, okay, you know what? It's kind of funny though, because like I think the person who's walking out of the clip is the woman who works at the abortion clinic. So it's like, have you not seen an abortion before? Like, why are you freaking out like this?
Oh, she did object.
Like
She did
you
object to it, so could be something to do with that.
no, 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 no. The
Oh,
worker is crying and running out. The person getting the abortion, like, here's the thing: I have no sound, so she's like, "No, no, I don't want to do it." And the fucking worker's like, hey, "No, we're gonna abort this baby. We're liberals." And then the worker is the one who's like, "I have a conscience." Like, did she just get this fucking job? I don't know. I'm thinking too much about fucking Unplanned, but either way, it's like, huh, all right, I'm pretty sure they don't have the fucking screen up in the middle while the baby's clawing its way out. But yeah, I'm never watching this out of 10.
cool. All right. Moving on, we got another pair of movies, Bullworth and Bull Durham. Why? Because I was a moron and thought Bullworth was actually Bull Durham when it turned out they were
Nope.
completely different movies. So I watched Bullworth expecting to watch Bull Durham, and then I realized it was wrong, so I watched Bull Durham. There's a lot of bull. Anyways, Bullworth. This was in 1998, directed by Warren Beatty. It's a political satire movie about a politician who wants to become more black. Yes, you heard that right. This type of movie probably wouldn't fly today. Not gonna lie. Did I enjoy this? Yeah, it was pretty funny. I had quite a few chuckles along the way. I thought it was good shit. It was entertaining. Good God. Bonk, bonk, but Halle Berry, bonk, 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 bonk. But good Lord, in this movie, bonk. Sean Astin even has a little turn in here. I mean, this is just a fun movie. It's stupid. It's good. It's lots of stuff to parody in it. And it's actually got a pretty funny message by the end of the movie. I had a good time with it.
Okay, so now my question is, was this the right one or the wrong one?
No, this was the wrong one. I was expecting a sports movie, which is
Oh
Bull
my
Durham.
god, how did you get this so golden? How?
Being they both had bull in it.
No, I mean, like, how did you accidentally stumble on gold? How did you do that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I just remember, so I remember a while back, I was going through like just services and adding everything that looked half interesting to a watch list. And Disney Plus
Jesus Christ, no.
Disney Plus had Bullworth, and I remember even at the time thinking, "Oh, that's that sports movie," so I added it to my watch list.
I mean, it was rhetorical. I don't know how. I just meant like, how do you stumble on gold like that of a fucking politician trying to become black? That is like B movie, a fucking Dollar Tree DVD that you find that you buy as a joke, and you're like, oh my god, this is garbage. This is incredible. So, I'm never watching it out of 10, but goddamn, what a great premise.
Fun movie. And then we talk about Bull Durham, which I actually probably don't like as much as Bull.
Oh, god, how disappointing.
But it's still very good. It's still a very good movie. It's 1998, directed by Ron Shelton, starring Kevin Costner, Susan Sarandon, and Tim Robbins. A very solid sports film, just about a guy who's basically at the end of his baseball career, and he's trying to mentor another guy who's kind of a fuck up, and just watching some of their adventures. It's bog typical kind of standard stuff you normally get for sports movie. I don't really know why this one's more revered than others, so to speak, but it was definitely solid, definitely worth watching if you enjoy that thing. But I mean, I probably would watch it again one day, but for instance, this movie's in the Criterion collection. I will not be buying the Criterion for this. So there you go. 7 out of 10.
Yeah, you know what? It's in one ear, out the other. Probably better to watch the first Bull movie out of 10.
Cool. It's on your watch list though.
No,
Just
no, no, you can't pull this on me. You can't pull this shit on me. No, 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 no. Thank God. Okay. Thank you for saying that you were like, no, no, you're just fucking with me, because like I would have stopped and looked it up, because we're not doing this, okay?
All right, moving on. Let's talk next about A Fistful of Dollars, directed by, of course.
I
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I hate that I forgot you watched this. Like, if A Long Day Closes, or whatever the name of that movie wasn't on my recent apps, I would have had this one on there instead. Because when I saw you watching this, I was like, shit, I have the trilogy there. I should probably start this at some point.
Yeah. So this is actually, funny enough, I didn't even mean it to be, but I guess this is the first of the Dollars trilogy. So I got lucky with that, which is A Fistful of Dollars, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
For a few dollars more.
For a few
No,
dollars
for
more.
a few dollars more.
Yeah,
there you
for
go.
a few dollars more, and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. So yeah, this was the first of it, A Fistful of Dollars, and it was really, really solid. Sergio Leone, obviously, is a very famous director, and then, oh my god, the music by Morcano. Fuck, I can't say his name, man. That's a
Moricino?
Morcino.
Oh
I
my
don't know.
god,
And he's
no,
so
no,
famous.
that's actually even worse.
Yeah, he's so
Wait,
famous.
Morricone or something like
Yeah,
that?
he's so famous. I mean, he's done countless movies. Cinema Paradiso.
And Tarantino has robbed it from him completely. Like, just I
Yeah.
love it whenever he robs from him.
Yeah, so he's fantastic. And the score was absolutely a highlight here. It was so fucking stellar. But Clint Eastwood, seeing a young Clint Eastwood actually, like, no offense to Clint Eastwood of today, but seeing a young Clint Eastwood actually act instead of just wandering around being an old grumpy man, which is basically what he does in his movies now. But that was cool. That was an interesting, good change of pace for sure. And yeah, it was definitely a really solid movie. A little slow at times, but I don't know. I think some of that just maybe that this was the first of the trilogy and the age a little bit, and I think this is kind of regarded as the least of the three. But I don't know. It was still good. I definitely really enjoyed it. I didn't love it, but I would definitely watch it again. So good stuff. 7 out of 10.
Okay, according to the Wikipedia page, like how it has like the phonetic spelling,
Right.
Ennio Morricone. Like, I'm happy with the way I said that. I'm kind of hoping that's what it is. This man is way too fucking goated with his music that I would feel like it'd be an insult if I didn't at least try to give it the proper, like, speech, whatever, proper words. Pronunciation. I knew there was a word for it. I fucking knew it. So Ennio Morricone. There you go. I'm happy saying it like that. Yeah, I want to watch these movies. I have all three of them in 4K, man. Like, it honestly, if all three of these end up being my shit, I am so screwed, because trying to figure out how to get all three of these on the shelf and like how I want to be able to fit it, I might end up killing myself, honestly. Like, I might have to import a steelbook that will fit all three of them, or maybe like a steelbook of like The Good, Bad, and the Ugly, since that's probably the most popular one, and hope that like I can fit 3 discs in there. I don't know. I'm scared of watching these, because like if I end up having to shelf these, it's gonna be a fucking bloodbath. So yeah, excited whenever I get to it. Out of 10.
Perfect. All right, we're going to talk about Rocketman now, directed in 2019 by Dexter Fletcher, who also did, I didn't realize this until I started watching it, but he also did Eddie the Eagle, which I watched not too long ago, and also starred...
Another thing that I want to add to his resume that I don't remember if it's technically there, after Bryan Singer was way too fucking hammered, filming Bohemian Rhapsody, Dexter Fletcher is a person who actually filled in for him.
Yes.
Which, as I will always mention, is such a missed opportunity that he didn't just do both of those movies.
I agree. Yeah. And Rocketman is a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Taron Egerton is just fantastic. I really like him a lot. He's got a lot of charisma. I've been watching him in the Kingsman movies lately, and he's been really good here. So I think I'd flip over to Rocketman and give this a watch. And yeah, I mean, I'm not even a huge Elton John fan. I like his music. Don't get me wrong. I think his music's great. I just never seek it out or anything like that, but or really would have cared about his life story. But this was told in a very entertaining way. It was well done. I mean, I'm never going to be the type of person that falls in love with a biopic unless it does something interesting to me, like Blonde or Spencer, something like that, where it actually tries something different. So this is just, I mean, as high as I can go on it is something like a 7 out of 10. I really enjoyed it, but that's just kind of where those biopics sit for me. But definitely worth watching. It was a lot of fun and some great music for sure.
Yeah, I'm very happy that even though this one it still follows the same formula that all of them does, like, oh, we're gonna have to start in media res and then go back and then still had the final performance at the end. Like, you know what? It was done with so much style that I don't care that the format is still cliche as hell. So, Rocketman, fun movie. I have the steelbook sitting in the wings because this used to be on the shelf, but like even before like the shelf had rules, like that's just been sitting there off to the side because I still don't know if I want to keep it or not. The problem is that like I'm trying to get my parents to watch it because I know that they like Elton John. The thing is like I just never get around to showing them the movie. I just show them a whole bunch of stuff. Honestly, the next thing I'd probably show them is Saturday Night Fever, but I have the Blu-ray and they released a 4K because I took too long to show them. So, you know, Rocketman gets delayed even further. So, yeah, Rocketman, a good movie out of 10. Maybe makes the shelf. I doubt it.
All right, speaking of good movies that I enjoyed that apparently you didn't, let's talk about Tangerine. Directed in 2015 by Sean Baker. Man, I don't know. Like, so I don't love this movie, but this movie is just like an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia to me, man. I don't know. It's absolutely insane, and it just starts going off the rails. And as it starts tumbling more and more, I just find it funnier and funnier. And I had a great time with this movie. I mean, it's definitely a little bit distracting how it's shot at first. Fuck you, Tim Apple. But once you get past that,
Okay, sure. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay.
but once you get past that, I mean, I don't know. I think it's beautiful. Like the fact that he managed to get some of these shots on an iPhone are pretty insane. There's gorgeous use of colors, and yeah, like the performances from like the two lead people here are hilarious. I don't know. I had a good time with it. I mean, I don't like I said, it definitely got a little bit grating by the end, and I don't know if I'd be in a rush to rewatch it, but I probably would at some point. I liked it.
Yeah, you know what? Red Rocket is over there, so if I'm gonna go ahead and go for top tier trashy people, like Red Rocket is over there, and I still have the Florida Project
Yeah,
waiting in the wings. So
Florida Project's the best of his. I actually think I like Tangerine more than Red
really,
Rocket, though.
why? Why can't we just can we just talk about Metal Gear for a little bit, okay? It's hurting me that we're disagreeing this much. We need to find common ground before I just cancel the show sooner.
Don't worry. I've got something saved semi for the end that I think we both agree on, so we'll get there.
Metal Gear Solid 3. That's a good fucking video game, right?
I mean, it's great.
Bro, I love
it's just
Snake.
not as good as Metal Gear Solid 4.
Can we stop, please? Please, look, we're trying to have a good time. We're trying to smile. We're trying to be buddies right now, okay? Who's trying to have a good time
here? Because it ain't fucking me. My whole purpose on this show is to annoy the piss out of you, and it's working today. So,
you see, the thing is that I know that people like me angry,
exactly.
So you are the perfect choice.
Yeah.
But like, you're also not just flinging shit at the wall, where it's like, well, that's not even aimed at me, so like, it's not gonna hurt me. You know how to aim.
But I will say, unironically, it's very close between Tangerine and Red Rocket. It can flip, but
I hate you. That's even close by.
I do think the Florida Project is the best one of his. So I'm excited for you to watch that because I think you'll like that one too.
I don't like Tangerine. It's whatever. It's so off the rails already at the beginning that it going even further. It's like, dude, we were never on the rails, whatever. So yeah, Tangerine, no, out of 10.
All right. Movie I watched today, Little Miss Sunshine. 2006.
I want to watch that one. It looks so positive.
Yeah, it's actually not, but anyways.
But it's so sad and positive. Yeah. Is it not both?
Directed by Jonathan.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
It's directed by Jonathan Dayton, Valerie Ferris, Greg Kinnear, Tony Collette, Steve Carell, Paul Dano. Great cast. Alan Arkin. Great cast. Yeah, so this movie, it's good. I liked it. I mean, it's again really, really highly rated on Letterboxd. I don't know if it's that good, but it was definitely worth watching. The performances are all really great here. It reminds me kind of those really early 2000 movies where it's like, we want to make a movie with the most quirky characters possible. And it's part of the reason why I've grown to, I don't want to say hate because I still like it, but dislike Napoleon Dynamite more because it feels like that was like the height of that shit. And while you could still make good movies with that, it definitely feels like that's what the movies were like trying to push. Like, oh yeah, let's get all these quirky people together and have them have an adventure. Ooh, so much fun! And that's definitely a big
I
part of
hate
this.
you. That sounds great.
Yeah, I don't know.
Quirky people having
Yeah,
an adventure.
that's like,
God, stop doing
it's like,
this. I have a fun time.
but yeah, this was a fun time. It was good. There's definitely, but it's very, very sad at points, and definitely depressing at points too. But I think it ends on a nice note, and definitely worth watching. So, good stuff. 7 out of 10 again, enjoyable.
I want a fun time. Who knows when I'll want to watch this one? I've been wanting to watch this one for years. I swear I'm not gonna, like, at some point out of 10. At some point.
All right, so this next one, we're gonna go big. You've still got like 2 things left, right, on your list technically, or 3?
I for some reason. Oh, I still have my game of the year and favorite games up. Let's see. I have 3. Yeah.
Okay, so this next one is gonna wipe off 5 things at once. So here we go. We got a big bundle
Jesus
coming.
Christ. Okay.
So we've got
Okay.
Glass Onion, A Knives Out Mystery, Pinnochio, The Fablemans, Bones and All, and To the Bone. Now you might be wondering, why is this a 5 block? Well, let me explain, you wonderful listener.
Yep.
You. The first 4,
Nope. Awesome day.
Glass Onion, Pinnochio, The Fableman, and Bones and All, I watched all in one day. That's right, folks. This was a 4 movie theater experience. Watched them all in the same movie theater, basically all after another. I did have time to run and get dinner and use the washroom and shit like that. But yeah, it was all basically in a row and a fantastic experience. The 5th one, To the Bone, I added it on because it also has bone in it. No relation to the other ones. Starting with Glass Onion, A Knives Out Mystery. I really, really liked. So this was the first movie. I'm doing this in the order I watched them. I think this movie's really great. I really liked it. I'm seeing a lot of interesting discourse on this movie now, though. A lot of people saying it's not as good as the first, and a lot of people saying it's clearly better than the first, and just wild things kind of being thrown out around this movie. Where I stand, I think it's really great, and I think it's definitely close to the first. I do think the first would take it for me overall, just because I like the cast a little bit more on the first, and it's a little bit more grounded. This one kind of is different. It goes full blown into comedy parody at times, and like really tries to be funny, and it hits a lot of it. Like, it is funny for me, but I did like some of that serious murder mystery tone of the first one that's lost a little bit here. Still a great movie, though. A lot of fun. If you like the first Knives Out, I mean, some people haven't, but for the most part, if you like the first Knives Out, I think you will have at least a fun time with this one. But yeah, no, it was good stuff. I'm glad I got to see it in theaters before Netflix yanked it and from theaters forever. Those fucking cunts. And yeah, shout out to Edward Norton. I like seeing him being a smarmy prick, and always nice to see him doing that in movies.
I had no idea that Edward Norton was in this movie. Like, I literally have no idea anything about this movie because, like, I knew that I was gonna want to watch it. I don't know, honestly. I kind of want to see this one in theaters, but the thing is like, my wife does like Knives Out, and if I'm dragging her out for a movie, it's gonna be Avatar 2: Wishy Washy of the Waves. So I don't want to drag her out again. So, like, Netflix, I'm so sorry. I want you to know that I would have watched it in theaters, but also, a literal fucking baby showed up not long ago. So sorry. I would have happily given you theater bucks though. So hey, I mean, if you ever wanna do it again, like, I don't know, like, if you throw out, I don't know, maybe another Vandy project, like, I don't know, you cut a director I really like a check, and then it's like, put it on Netflix, like, I'll show up. But that's completely separate. Like, if you wanted fun First Man 2, the First Man ending, like, sure. But like, Knives Out, I'm sorry, I want to see you. I'll probably see you later, but like, my wife likes it. I didn't want to drag her out to theaters. I will watch you out of 10.
An 8 out of 10 for me. 4 out of 5. All right, next up on the docket was Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, directed by Guillermo del Toro and Mark Gustafson. Basically, you get a stop motion animated film here about Pinocchio, starring Ewan McGregor, David Bradley, Gregory Mann, Christoph Waltz, Tilda Swinton, Ron Perlman. Just great cast in here. A lot of great people. This was good. This was actually solid, like better than I was expecting it to be. It goes. It's hard. It's hard to explain without going into spoilers, but it simultaneously goes darker than I expected, but then not as dark as I would have thought. Which I mean, I kind of get, and it kind of disappointing, like because there are parts where they do really go for it, but then there were other parts where like, man, I wish you would have just really gone all twisted with this because you could have. But I understand that's really not what they were trying to do here, and they're trying to keep it somewhat, I guess, kid friendly still. This is another one that's going to be on Netflix soon, but decided, yeah, because I was watching 4 movies in the theater, why not fit this one in? But yeah, it was really solid, better than I was expecting, honestly. Del Toro just has such a way with vibes and creating a scene and just creating these gorgeous, lush environment. And I think this is the first animated thing he's ever worked on, and it translated really well here to me too. So, it's the story of Pinocchio. I'm not exactly going to be treading new ground at this point, but it's solid stuff. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm fine. Like I don't know. Like there are so many other Del Toro movies that I would need to watch before I even get to Pinocchio of all movies. So I can just kind of safely say, yeah, I doubt it ever. That I doubt it. I ever watched this out of 10.
Fantastic. All right, next up is The Fablemans, 2022, Steven Spielberg, starring Gabrielle LaBelle, Michelle Williams, Paul Dano, Seth Rogen. Um, yeah, this was stunning to me. I was not expecting to like this movie nearly as much as I did. This is now my second favorite movie of the year, which, considering how stacked this year is, impressive feat. And this has easily become one of my favorite movies just in general. I think this will easily wind up in my top 50 soon. I fucking love this movie, and I can't wait to watch it again. And it's impressive to me considering I'm not even the biggest Steven Spielberg fan. I really appreciate Steven Spielberg. He's got a lot of great movies. I would never say otherwise. But if I was to make a list of like my top 20 directors, I don't think Spielberg would be there. I really don't. So I'm not the type of person that you might think would love this movie, because this is basically a biography about Steven Spielberg, just with names changed. But holy shit, this movie is great. It hits all the right notes you'd want it to. Michelle Williams is beyond fantastic in this. Like, she has to be a lock for a Best Supporting Actress nomination. She's so good here. And I would give one to Paul Dano, too. I'm a big simp of his, but I loved him in this movie. I thought he was great. There's just so many great performances here. The cinematography and the shots in this movie are beautiful. You could tell how much love and care was put into this movie. And I won't spoil anything, but this probably has not only my favorite ending to any movie of this year, but one of my favorite endings to any movie I've seen in a long time, that basically had me like wanting to scream when I saw it in the theaters. It was so fucking great. I did not expect it. And it was the perfect end cap to a movie I already loved. So this is a pure 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5, cinema at its finest for me. I fucking love this movie.
I don't know why. Anytime I think about this movie, I keep thinking about Cinema Paradiso, and I
Yeah,
kind
that's
of
fair. I can understand that.
no, but that's the thing. Like I've seen
No,
neither
I
of
know,
these.
but
Like,
they're very similar. Like they're similar in that they're crafted about love of cinema. That's what those movies are about.
okay, yeah, you know, yeah. This I really have to wonder how many times could you count in an episode. Take a shot every time that I say I would want to watch this, but I'd want to watch this before. If you die, you can't blame me. That's my score out of 10.
That's fair. I do hope you get to this one day, because it is a really, really great movie, and I would like more people
Mhm.
to see it, because it's not doing so well.
I want to.
But yeah,
Oh, well, of
of
course
course.
not, because it's a good movie.
Yeah, why would it, right? All right. And then the
I'm gonna kill myself.
last the last movie of the grouping was Bones and All, directed by Luca Guadagnino. Sure, why not? Guadagnino? I don't know. I don't know how to say your name, buddy. Um, he's also made Call Me by Your Name, Suspiria.
Hold up. I'm just gonna cut in right now. My score is gonna be literally the same. Same thing I said for the last one. Okay, I saw that "Call Me by Your Name" was streaming somewhere. I don't remember anymore where it is. I kind of hope to watch it by the next episode. There we go. I'm done. I got my
Yeah,
piece out of the way.
and
Continue.
Call Me by Your Name is a better movie than this, in my opinion. So, good place to start. But this isn't a bad movie. Taylor Russell, I really like Taylor Russell from Waves. Timothy Chalamet's here. Mark Rylance is probably the steals of the movie here. Great stuff. But yeah, this is it's an interesting movie. It's a cannibal horror romance, which you can't don't see a lot of movies like that. And when they decide to go for like the cannibal horror stuff, like it gets really interesting and it's grotesque and they kind of it's twisted and they do a good job with that. But then they don't really do it that often. They strip it back and they just kind of go for the pure romance of it a lot. And I don't know, I just didn't vibe with it as much. Like I wasn't feeling it. Like it was fine, but I don't know if it was just the chemistry between the leads or if something else felt off to me, but I wasn't digging it, but every time Mark Rylance was on screen or they were going for like the more twisted side of things, drew me back in. It was really good. Um, and overall, I had a really good time with it. I will say the ending is if the Fablemans had like my favorite ending of this year, Bones and All might have one of my least favorite endings. I literally laughed, and I don't think I was supposed to laugh. Maybe you were supposed to laugh. I just fucking laughed. I'm like, this is fucking stupid. Um, Again, I just thought it was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. But beyond that ending, it doesn't ruin the movie for me. It's still a solid movie. I liked it a lot. I just didn't love it. So it's rock solid 7 out of 10.
I don't know. If I have someone like Sam tell me to watch it, I'll consider it. But besides that, Bones and All, again, probably the last time I ever mention it. Out of 10.
Sam's a Lucas simp, so he probably will tell you to watch him.
That's okay. Oh yeah, wait, I literally forgot the director. I'm dumb.
Yeah, he's a Lucas simp, so he'll tell you to watch it. And it is a good movie. I have no hatred against that movie. This is not Suspiria for me. I like this movie. So, all right. And then finally, To the Bone. Yes, this has nothing to do with those movies, but it had bone in it, so I decided to throw it in here. Directed in 2017 by Marty Noxon, starring Lily Collins, who I love Lily Collins, by the way. Let me just say, she needs more work. Keanu Reeves is in here.
Hold on. Look, it just needs to be said. Bonk.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Although this movie, not so much, because she's playing an anorexic in this movie. And
double bonk.
Oh. I know. Well, anyways, yeah. So Lily,
I'm sorry. I just had to be toxic. That feels like the proper toxic response.
No, it's a good one. Yeah, this movie's great though. Actually, I really like this movie a lot, more than I was expecting. The lead guy in here, Alex Sharp, I thought he was funny, genuinely charming, and the relationship between him and Lily Collins is great. Like I said, she plays an anorexic, and she's just trying to get help before she dies, basically, because she can't stop. And she meets a doctor named Keanu Reeves, or was her name Keanu Reeves, played by Keanu Reeves.
Great. Hi, I'm Dr. Keanu Reeves.
Great. I love that. But yeah, he basically
you have stage 4 cancer. Whoa.
He basically plays himself in the movie though, so I mean, I appreciate it. But yeah, he has this unorthodox basically clinic where people go to, and yeah, it's an interesting movie and really great. Kind of pulls back the curtain on anorexia a bit, which is something I feel that's not talked about a ton. So it's interesting to see that
anymore, at least.
Yeah, anymore. So it's interesting to see that sort of thing in the theaters. But yeah, or not the theaters. It was a Netflix movie, so on the screen, I guess. But yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I don't want to say a good time with it because it's serious subject matter, but it was really great and definitely worth watching. So yeah, rock solid 8 out of 10 for me.
Who knows? God knows out of 10.
All right, fair. So that I'm down to 2. So why don't you do some shit now?
Shit. Okay. All right. I guess might as well keep the train going. God of War, 2005. Which, by the way, looking that up, I was just like, okay. So when I was writing it in my notes, because I think I just started it today. So, baby, she doesn't sleep. Like the girl, we have to wake her up every 3 hours to feed her. So like, even if she wanted to sleep, she couldn't, because we need to feed her. She just hasn't been really sleeping at night. So like my wife and I basically alternate where she'll stay up with her really late to hopefully put her to sleep. I'll sometimes do that. So yeah, today though, my wife is the one who stayed up. And then I woke up like at 5 a.m. basically to hang out with her until it was time for me to go to work. So I just started playing God of War for a little bit. Like I think I got like an hour in or so. And I'm kind of glad that my story pretension isn't really here anymore when I'm playing this. Gameplay wise, the funny thing is like I'm just thinking like now that I've seen David Jaffe on YouTube and his few times that he shows up on Sacred Symbols, like I see so much of what this man is in this game, and it's kind of funny because it's like, man, this game just like does not stop. Like it doesn't have any breathing room. It's just like fight, 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 fight. Even the combat doesn't really have any breathing room. Like literally, this game is the most minorest of pacing that it needs to not just hit you with combat endlessly. And considering how Jaffe just seems like a guy who, I don't know, man, this man seems a little bit out of touch with games now, or at least maybe how games are now. So to be able to see that even a game back in 2005 is designed exactly how he would want a game to naturally be designed, it's been rather entertaining. Oh, I realized I mentioned the year and I didn't even finish that statement, which is that God of War 2005. If you gun to head asked me what year this game came out, I would have said 2002 or 2003, and I would have died because, 2005. I don't know how the hell it just slipped my mind completely that God of War came out in 2005, and then just the insane development times that old consoles used to have where fucking God of War 2 comes out a year later and people vastly say that 2 is so much better than 1. I don't understand how that's done it. How what I don't understand. I assume that it's probably because like technological advances makes it a whole lot harder to be able to have turnaround times like that. Games are more complicated. I don't know, but either way, like it's still so fucking insane to me that that was done. But yeah, I want to say that most of my criticism, not even criticism, it says observances, I guess. Most of my observances of the observations, there's a fucking word. God, I'm starting to crash. Again, 80 calories of coffee. I don't know what I'm going to have for dinner. I'll figure it out later. But anyways, my observation so far of this game is that this game just goes, goes, goes. I'm literally just an hour in and it's already given me 2 powers extra above the blades. I'm like, man, this game just like kind of doesn't stop. Of course, most of my annoyances are old age stuff where it's like not really checkpointing because like I haven't even died yet, but like there's a puzzle where you have to push a block from one end to the other end, and there are archers that are shooting at you. The archers can break that box, so it was just not fun to grab the box and then push it, and they're shooting it, and the arrow and the box blows up, and I'm just like, oh, this is actually kind of annoying. Can I just go back to fighting? So that's probably the only complaint I have. I've been enjoying the edge of this game. Like, it just so much seems like this game hates people so much. Like, people literally exist just for the monsters to kill them and turn them to a blood splatter. It's hilarious. And that, along with the fact that, like, it's been an hour and there's just, like, been, like, 4 pairs of tits that have already shown up. Like, this game is so 2000s edge. Like, honestly, if Breaking Bad isn't in the credits, I'm gonna be really disappointed. So yeah, like I've been enjoying the game though. Like I'm kind of hoping that I can keep going. I mean, hell, I beat God of War 2018 on Give Me God of War difficulty in like 3 or 4 sittings in like a week. So I'm kind of just hoping that, knowing that all these older games are shorter, I'm hoping that this wave will let me get through these games a whole lot quicker. So of course, though, I still need to get more movies in because, like, I swear, I think I only watched one movie for the entire month of November. So I would like it if December had more movies. So, ideally, I'd like to get through all of the Greek games. Who knows if I'll do it? So, yeah, God of War 1 so far is a fun edge out of 10.
Yeah, God of War is a fun game. I played it actually for the first time right before 2018 came out. I was like, well, I need to go back and play these other God of War games because I just feel like I need to do that. I want to be a pretender, at least play the three main ones,
Hmm.
the God of War 1, 2, and 3. And yeah, no, I had a fun time with God of War 1. It was definitely, it felt a little dated to me at times, and it was for sure made in a different era where they just were trying to be as edgy as possible with things. But the game was fun. It was a good time to play. It was just enjoyable. So I mean, you'll definitely, if you put a little bit of time into it, it's not a long game at all. So I think you'll be fine with that. And I don't remember anything being cripplingly hard, although I only played on normal. So I don't know what you're playing on. But
Same.
yeah,
That's the thing. I don't really think that this is a combat that like I want to lose my mind over.
yeah,
Like I really like my hard games with parrying. Is there it's a block button. Like it's a block button that sure if you block at the right moment it does damage. It doesn't satisfy that part of my brain that goes parry. So like I don't want to do this hard.
yeah. Then you'll be fine. You'll get through it pretty quick. So, but yeah, banger of a game. Definitely has some roots and lore and classics. But yeah, it just didn't hold up amazing for me. But I still enjoyed it. It's like a 7 out of 10 for me.
I just want to tell you that if for some reason you ever go back to the old ones, I can vouch hard for Chains of Olympus. Like I swear that okay, so like what was it? A couple of episodes ago that I tried Chains of Olympus through PS Now just to see how it was streaming. Uh yeah, man, like even like when I tried it like that, I was like, man, Chains of Olympus is actually still really fucking good. Like it's one of those things that like considering how the PS2 games look, that Chains of Olympus is fighting its own. It's like, yeah, this was just a PS2 game. And it's like, nope, PSP is like, oh, okay, that game was punching above its weight. Where if you told me that like there was a 2 studio setup where Santa Monica was doing the Norse games and then Ready at Dawn, if they had gotten purchased by Sony, did more of the old style pulled out camera God of War games, like that could have honestly worked because like I think that Chains of Olympus is good, and specifically like that it's weird to me. Like I'll just repeat something that I said in the spoiler cast. Not spoilers, don't worry. I'll try to sanitize it. It's weird to me to think that God of War 1 wasn't doing anything story wise for me. And I'm like, Kratos kind of sucks. But then I think about the fact that one of the things that affected me the most in Chains of Olympus, for as far back as I played it, like I played it like in high school or something like that. But like there is literally a QTE moment in that game that I didn't want to do because I was like, for story reasons, I know this is a QTE I have to do to continue the game, but I don't want to do this QTE. Like I don't. And like that's the mark of a good game where it's like you have to do this, but you're conflicted about it because you like what's happening that you don't want it to end. If anyone's played it and wants to know, it's pretty much the last QTE of the game. Like I can keep it that vague, and it's pushing. That's as much details as I want to give. And yeah, so Chains of Olympus, I want to put my finger on the scale on that one and say you should not exclude that one. Honestly, I've heard good things about Ghost of Sparta, so I'm excited about whenever I get to that one. I would be shocked if that one wasn't as good. So yeah, I just want to say Chains of Olympus. Don't leave that one out.
Yeah, maybe one day. We'll see.
That's the thing. I know that there's no timeline for you,
Yeah.
but like I just want to say don't discount
Oh,
it.
fair enough.
All right. Am I next or?
I mean, I just did so many in a row, so you can do 2 if you want.
Okay, that's fine. All right. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I played one more mission of it. It was annoying. That's it.
Alright.
I'm gonna keep playing it, but like,
All right, yeah. Fuck Call of Duty. That's my score. I'm happy to leave that as a short one.
I don't know, man. Look, I sometimes see the boys playing, and every once in a while, I'm just like, and I'll go more into specifics because I don't want to leave it vague. Leaving it vague sounds weird. The boys, they're. I consider Ben a friend. I don't consider Ben's friends yet because I haven't been around them yet. Locke and Justin, I do consider them friends. Whenever they're playing, I don't feel like I have to be like I have to DM them and just be like, hey, you guys open to me jumping in? I still do it anyways because I don't want to put them in an awkward position where I jump into voice chat and I'm just like, hey, want to play? And it's hard for them to be like to say no because through voice it's a lot harder to say no. But people like either Dustin or Brandon. I'm sorry that I'm saying names and then people are just like, who are those? That's fine. Whatever. You don't need to worry about it. Just think of it as friends of friends. I don't want to put them in a position where I just jump into voice chat and they have to awkwardly tell me no, or maybe even worse, they say yes and they're just like silent the entire time because I just barged in. So yeah, that's probably the most enjoyment that I'll get out of Modern Warfare 2 because I was okay with the first half of this campaign, but that one mission with driving was so annoying. I was just like, they basically tried to do what Uncharted 4 did with jumping from vehicle to vehicle, and I'm like, this is Call of Duty. This gameplay is not made for this. It was fucking annoying. Like it's honestly easy. It's easy, but the thing is like I really don't like the physics of the driving in that game. That like I would jump out of the vehicle and the vehicle doesn't pay attention to the laws of physics, so it just keeps moving at the same pace. Like it doesn't drop in speed. So I would still be thinking about like actual physics, but no, like you're moving, the car is moving at the same speed. I'm basically already set on jumping from one car to the other, and then I fucking miss. Like I hate it. I hated that mission. Still gonna go back to it because why not? These games are short anyways, and for some reason, Call of Duty games are the only ones where I'm just like, I'll just keep pushing through anyways. Oh, I forgot also there was a QTE, no, not a QTE. There was a dialogue segment where it was quizzing you on the plot of the game. Like, oh, is this person lying? Go ahead and tell them the truth. And I'm like, I don't know what the fucking truth is because I haven't been paying attention to the plot at fucking all. I don't know. And I got killed one time, and then I just realized that the game will tell you if the answer is wrong. So it's like, oh, who was attacking us? The Mexican army. And the character will be like, are you sure that's what it is? And I'm like, oh, okay, that isn't it. So then I just would choose another thing. No. Please do not play the campaign out of 10.
I won't out of 10. Thanks. Okay. Palm Springs. This is the second to last one for me. We'll go here next. This is in 2020, directed by Max Barbacow. Starring Andy Samberg, Christina Milioti, J.K. Simmons, Peter Gallagher. Good cast here again. This movie was so much more creative and fun than I was expecting. And unfortunately, it's the type of movie where I don't have a lot to say because I think this is the type of movie you want to go in almost as blind as you possibly can to. Because I didn't know anything going into this movie other than it starred Andy Samberg. And I'm not a giant Andy Samberg fan, so it made me a bit leery. But no, this movie's really creative. It's really funny. It's definitely worth your time. It's actually one of my favorite movies I've seen out of 2020 now. Genuinely hilarious and with a really insane but cool concept. So definitely check this out. I'm going to keep it vague and not say anything else, like any plot details, because I think that is the best way to go into this one.
I'm going to repeat myself again. Guess what movie I should watch before this one? Come on, like I give you 3 guesses and I bet you get it on the first one. What movie should I watch before I watch this one?
What movie? I don't know.
No. Oh, no. 3 guesses. You will probably get it.
I don't know.
No way. Come on.
I don't know.
No. No.
Please. If it's the movie,
you can get it.
If it's the movie,
it's the most obvious one.
If it's what? Say it again.
It's the most obvious one.
If it's the one I think it is, I don't want to say it because I consider that a spoiler. Because I really don't want to give any plot.
Wait, really?
Yeah, because I don't want.
I know that. I know.
That's why
the
you know about that, but I don't want the audience to know about
that. Seriously?
Because I did not know about that.
The synopsis. Oh, you didn't. Oh, you went blind. Dude, that shit is like in the trailer.
I didn't see the trailer.
Whole basis of the movie.
I had no idea. I literally had no idea, and that made the movie for me.
Oh my god! Okay,
yeah.
blind.
Okay, in the concept, but fair. Okay, I know what you're saying. All right, I mean, yeah, the movie. Yeah, I know the movie then, and you should watch that one first. That one is still better. But.
Okay, my score is Groundhog's Day out of 10.
Kratos has a out of 10. Censor this bitch.
No, you bitch! Oh, god damn it! I'm fucking. He has a penis. That's what it is. He has a penis.
Big penis. Yeah, that's it.
Big swinging dong. How do you think Atreus was made?
Oh.
That's why they call him a giant.
That was funny.
That was 2018 spoilers. Those are free reign now. Fucking hate myself.
Me too, man.
You know, I'm not even gonna bleep that one. I'm literally just gonna cut out the word. Okay, that just makes it easier on me. Fuck it.
Oh fuck.
Am I the last one?
I got one left. You got one left. Do you want to go last? I don't really care. It's like
no, you go last because mine is just going to be a muted ending.
Okay, mine's good. So yeah, we'll end on mine. You go next.
Yeah, The Sopranos season 3. Oh, yeah. I finished it. Yeah. I'm just keeping you guys updated whenever I finish a season. Yeah, The Sopranos season 3. That's a good show. I'm still enjoying myself. Gabagool. I'm gonna go ahead and go into a different direction though. Shout out to the Blu-rays just looking super clean. So of course, with a baby right? Makes it a little bit hard to dip sometimes. We watched, I think, like 4 episodes actually in the last 2 weeks, which means that like we actually got through a lot. Like we met twice. So the first time they came over to my house, and I was like, well, we could watch it in the living room. And then I realized that their kids would get the theater room, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna watch Pokemon. I'm like, no fucking way Pokemon gets played in the theater room. The theater room gets fucking respect, okay? And so they got the living room, and we watched The Sopranos in the theater room. Like, that's okay. I would have been okay watching it in the living room. The problem is I don't need the theater room disrespected, okay? There's a criteria to what plays in the theater room. So anyways, yes, I'm going to have a fighting uphill battle with the girl at some point, and trust me, I'm going to do my best to not break. Anyways, The Sopranos season 3, the Blu-rays, man. HBO Max, commendable, honestly, that their streaming service has gotten better and their bit rate has gotten higher. It still doesn't match Blu-ray. I was just very happy to be like, oh yeah, the Blu-rays are cleaner. But not only that, but the fact that my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law both were like, oh my god, yeah, it looks cleaner on a Blu-ray. I was just like, oh my god, yes. Even not my ridiculous eye caught it. Yes. So I am happy to report that the Blu-rays for The Sopranos are really clean. Sopranos season 3, that's gonna be gabagool. Hey, it's a legitimate business. Forget about it. Do you believe this, Brunt? Out of 10.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good score. Maybe add a little Mamma Mia in there too. A little more.
Mamma mia, forget about it.
Yeah, good shit.
Oh,
Sopranos.
I don't want to be Santa Claus no more.
Yeah, Sopranos is great shit though. Touchstone, must watch TV. So glad you're getting through it. It's good shit.
Yes, absolutely. Continue.
All right,
Go
to
for it.
finish off the show, let's talk about Doctor Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bob.
Just an incredible movie. I'm so glad that you shouted out that line about the
Oh
war
my
room,
god, that
because
line is
that is
great.
it's such a golden line. It's perfect. It's
Yeah,
perfect.
this movie is razor sharp, like razor
Yes.
sharp, like cut yourself, like even just a glancing blow sharp. It's so witty. It's very tight. It's funny. It's hilarious at times, and I loved it. It was really really well done, and like it's just another. Kubrick has so many great movies. So like this is right now. This is in my top 5 of Kubrick. So we'll have to see where everything flushes out. And I think I slotted it right at number 5, and I feel bad because this movie's great, but there are just so many other things that I like from him too. But yeah, this was just tremendously done. Like I said, the comedy here and just the level of intelligence they use in this script, like the war room line, is just so fucking great. And it's like that throughout most of this entire movie. And there's just so many jokes. Like this movie feels so rewatchable. Like I could go back and catch a bunch of jokes that I didn't catch before that probably had like double or triple meanings to it. Peter Sellers is a star here as always, doing triple duty. Sterling Hayden is great, and I mean, this is just George C. Scott as what was the fucking guy's name? General Buck Turgidson. Just fat.
Oh my
God,
god,
he's
just that name.
It's so great. The names are all perfect, and just the fucking parodies are on point here. The satire is golden. This is such a perfectly for what you wanted. This movie is so perfectly executed. You could tell this has just got to be like a gold standard of like Hollywood scripts. I feel this movie because it's just so tight and perfect with no fats. So just an incredible movie. Glad I finally got to watch it. I actually bought the 4K for this with some of that Best Buy scratch. I'm definitely going to get the Criterion for this at some point. I'm probably going to wait though and hold out that they do a 4K re-release on it.
Yeah, hold.
Because I don't want to just buy a Blu-ray of it, especially because I already have a 4K. But yeah, hopefully they do that because I would definitely like to get the Criterion for this. But yeah, this is just a tremendous movie. If you're into comedies or satire, political satire at all, it's a must watch, and definitely a worthy entry for Mr. Stanley Kubrick.
All right, now, my god, goated satire. Honestly, just incredible. Also, I'm just stupid and didn't know that Peter Sellers was doing multiple roles,
It took
because
me a bit too.
I'm
He's so good though.
dude, oh my god, it's so golden, and just the literal Doctor Strangelove. I love this
Oh,
man.
it's so great.
I love this man to pieces. This fucking I don't want to say it because like
Yeah, yeah.
his history is so
It's
perfect.
great.
Like, oh my god. And the ending with the wheelchair, I don't want to go more
Yeah,
into
yeah.
specifics because like, oh my god, it's so good. This movie's so good. It oh my god, I kind of wish that it connected with me more. It's definitely one that I think I respect more than I. This is in that gray zone where if I wasn't so stringent about my shelf rules, this one would have made it in easily. But it's like, which one of these would I cut because of it? And here's the thing: sometimes I like my dumb fun. Man, this movie's such a fucking banger. It's incredible. It's better than most of the movies on my shelf, but also I couldn't find what I wanted to cut at the moment, so it didn't make it. But god damn, I love this movie. Oh, this is so good. Oh,
No, and I totally get what you mean, right? Because, like I said, like on Kubrick's films, I have Spartacus, The Killing, 2001: A Space Odyssey, and The Shining ranked ahead of it. And I had to think long and hard about that. I'm like, man, like I really like Doctor Strangelove, but I also like those movies more, and that's just personal preference, I think. Especially when it comes to something like The Killing and Spartacus. But Doctor Strangelove, for what it wants to do, is perfect. So like, it might be the best movie out of any of these. Even it's flawlessly executed. It's just not my personal favorite, but it's still incredibly well done.
yeah. Oh my god, this movie is just. I feel bad because like I don't. I feel like I'm shortchanging it because like I spoke so much about fucking everything else that now we get to the end and I don't really feel like I can say that much. So yeah, you know what? Just fucking empty platitudes for this one. I'm sorry, Doctor Strangelove, or How I Learned How to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. You deserve better than anything I can give you. So I will just happily just recuse myself and just say you were that fucking good, and I feel bad that I don't feel like I'm even qualified to speak about it.
Yeah, just
So that's my score. My score is Kino out of 10.
yeah, it's a rock solid 8 out of 10. Definitely watch this movie if you're into any of those sorts of things. I feel like it's something that you might skip over if you don't think you're into that sort of thing, but it's Kubrick, and Kubrick usually demands your attention, and this one's no different. So great stuff. Definitely worth watching.
All right. Is that it? We good? We good?
That is it. That is the end of the show.
Fuck yeah. Okay. 215, 216 before the edit. We're good. End card.
Hey, look at you. You got to the end of the episode. From episode 0 to the day that I finally get lazy and cancel the show, a big thank you to Joey Rawlings for providing the perfect name for the show. Be sure to always give him thanks, either out loud as you're listening to this, or you can just send him a thank you tweet at boogeyman117 _ That's boogeyman117, IE instead of Y, double O. Be sure that it's an underscore, not a dash, 117.